You are watching the Vodka stream.
Hey, yo, what is happening, everybody? It's the Vodka stream. It's Vodka stream time. Cheers. Got the vodka. Cheers, everybody. We made it through another week. Hopefully you're doing well. Good times. I'm not live on Instagram as I have been for the past few weeks because I didn't realize my phone was dead. My phone was dead. I grabbed my phone and I went to go take that, my super sexy picture that I always do before the vodka stream. I always post a picture, holding up like, hey, let's do this. And then it just died. I was like, oh crap. Yeah, I should probably charge my phone. So yeah, so it's charging right now and I'm not going to try to prop it up and try to do Instagram. So I'll get back to doing Instagram live next week, I guess. So, but anyways, guys, welcome. Thank you for clicking in. Go ahead and ask questions. We're going to, of course, have the panel talking about Superman, Ultraman, Monkey Man, which I'm going to give my full review of Monkey Man. I'm going to give my full review, and I forgot to turn on my lights. I was like, wait, why is it so dark in here? Hold on 1 second. Let me turn those on. All right, we're good. Forgot to turn on my little backlights over there. I was like, whoops, dropping the ball. First my freaking phone dies and then that, but we're all good. It's all good, guys. But anyways, like I said, go ahead and ask some questions. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Silver Surfer. We're going to be talking about The Matrix. We're going to be talking about Joker. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things. What's going on, Amory, right here? Just got a Monkey Man, a stunning film with some great fight scenes and an insane third act. Worth seeing in the theater for sure. I agree. We got Supergorilla's, or Godzilla's vlogs. Hi, Superman wins, being the power to defeat evil, little and giant. Excited, new Superman movie. Okay. Very excited. I wanna see. Go see it. What's stopping you, Ryan? What's stopping you? Someone's been having fun using AI, but that Superman on the right side is dope. Yeah. Well, it's Ultraman. It's just like an Ultraman image. Pretty much. Oh, well, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. Really sorry to hear that. Well, cheers to you. It's never fun to lose a pet for sure. So yeah, sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. What's going on, Miss Jackson? Ever have a day when you come home from work and you just want to scream or punch someone? Yeah, I think we've all had those days. But just punch a pillow, punch. I don't know, man. You could do something like that. But yeah, we've all had those days. What's going on, Phil? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see, Shano. Greetings. The first Friday of April. What's going on, Shane Baker right here? Happy Friday. Cheers, Bennett. Hope everyone had a nice Easter long weekend. Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? The thing I griped about it on Monday's Film Junkie Live, which is the fact that it's just a standard weekend. I didn't have a long weekend. It seems like most of the time, I know some people get like maybe Easter Friday off or possibly even Monday. I've never gotten a day off. So that's why I just kind of go like, what the hell? I mean, I had a nice Easter with my mom, my brother, and my nephew, and my brother's girlfriend. Yeah, we had a nice dinner and everything, but it was just like, I wanted the next day off or something. Give me Friday off. What's going on here? I'm back to full-time work again. So I was like, what the hell? Greetings. We got Ruthie here right here. Good evening, Dave. Hope you had a wonderful day. I can't complain, not too shabby. Hopefully you're having a good day yourself. You're in the future. I know that. It's already like tomorrow for you, isn't it? Ahoy, ahoy, Mr. Jason McKenzie. Cheers. Always great. Always helping out that pirate ship right there. Cheers. Good times. Game City Savior. Yes. Wish I had something. You don't have anything to say? We got RJ right here. Howdy. Hope you're all doing well. Today's been rough. Please cherish your loved ones and give friends a call when you can. Don't take life for granted. All right. That's good words right there. Please don't spoil. I'm not going to spoil Monkey Man. Don't worry. I'm not going to do that. What's going on, Axel? I'm now in another movie. It's a horror and a comedy. You got inspired. Well, that's good, man. What's going on, Trevino? Salud. Hey, caught you live. Oh, yeah. What's going on, Black Red? Thank you. Let's see. Notice that Gunn was very careful to deliberate it. Yeah. He didn't necessarily debunk the evil Superman clone, just reaffirmed that the main villain. Yeah. I think, there's, it's interesting. His response was definitely interesting. Yo, what up? Saw your Giants got a walk-off. Yes, that's where I'm happy. Yeah, I know. I just saw like Shohei finally got his first home run of the season. Yeah, whatever. I mean, again, all eyes on the Dodgers, and they did sweep the Giants, which wasn't great. But hey, I was happy today because the Giants had their opening day in their home ballpark today, and it was a 1:30 game. So, I was working, and then I got done with work. And right as I got done with work, because I had to start work an hour early today, so I got done at 2:30. And got to watch the rest of the game and got to just sit there and watch the freaking walk-off. A walk-off. So great. Estrada, man. Estrada. Gotta love it. What is up, Lane? Good to see you. I watched Rock of Ages yesterday and I forgot how bizarre but unique performance Tom Cruise. I don't think I've seen that movie. I've seen clips, but I don't think I've actually seen that movie. What's going on, Stephanie? My friend just met Zach at the... Oh, yeah, that's happening tonight, too. That is definitely happening tonight. All right, guys, go ahead and ask some questions. Get some questions in the channel. I'm going to give my full-on Monkey Man review. So, but go ahead. If you have some questions you want to ask, go for it. But I'm going to give my Monkey Man review. Okay? Because I have some thoughts. With it. No spoilers, don't worry. But let me take a drink. So, Monkey Man. Dev Patel, he's going to be a great filmmaker. He's going to be a great filmmaker, and this is an excellent entry into, excellent entry into him being a director and taking on a revenge action role is no easy task, especially when nobody wants to touch it. I just read that Netflix didn't want to touch it because the film does deal with politics when it comes to India and marginalized people over there. So I think they didn't want to release it on there. Therefore, he had to try to. It's just when you hear about how this movie is even out there, it's crazy. And thank you to Jordan Peele and Monkey Paw Productions for actually, giving it a chance, because I don't think if it wasn't for Jordan Peele, maybe we wouldn't even see this movie. But that's what sucks, is when you deal with like subject matter, right? When it comes to something like that, yeah, their studios are like, we don't want to touch it. Nope. You're dealing with some politics when it comes to India. We don't want to deal with that. And yeah, that's very much part of it. And if you notice, though, guys, and this was like when it comes to, at least, I enjoyed the movie thoroughly. I wanted to enjoy it more, but I think one of the reasons why is because that they don't sell very much of the other part of the story. They kind of leave that out, and they're just like, hey, here's like this is like John Wick in India kind of thing. It almost sells, the trailer kind of sells it like that. As there is obviously action in it, but not as much as you might think. There is a lot of buildup to that third act where the action goes absolutely insane. And I'm not saying there isn't any like action in between there. There just don't walk in there thinking it's just going to be like, okay, here we got why he's seeking revenge, and then we're just going. It's just, there's a lot of buildup. And I'm actually, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch it again, because I appreciate that it didn't just jump right into like, okay, this guy is just a fighter. He's like he's a underground fighter in like some fight club thing, and then he decides to just like take on this, these elites and for the revenge of his mom and stuff like that. But there's a lot of buildup. There's just a lot of buildup, and there's not just as much action as they sell it to be. And there's one in particular thing in the trailer that I do want to mention, but I think it's too much of this. But for the most part, it's a great movie. Go see it. The fight sequences are pretty insane. And you could tell, Dev Patel really put his blood, sweat, and tears, his soul into this movie. I think he did all his own stunts, his own fight. There, I don't think there is a stunt man for him at all. And that's why he talks about how he broke toes, broke his hand, got an eye infection, ripped his shoulder. He got pretty effed up doing this movie. And it just shows you that this guy has some passion, and I hope to see more. And like I said, I have to see it again because I wanted to like it more. And I think it was just because they kind of sold it more of, more actiony, and it really delves into the culture, which is good. But then, of course, there's this whole politics things that you don't really know about until, oh, okay, so that's this whole thing's happening, this whole plot. So, but overall, enjoyed it. But yeah, it just always sucks when the trailers kind of just sell you this, but it's like, oh yeah, but there's a bunch of this over here. But go see it, guys, if you want to. Like I said, it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it just reminds you that the wheel is not broken. So cheers to Monkey Man. Glad it's out there. Support these movies, support these original movies, these small movies. Hopefully it does well at the box office, because again, like I said, I read that Netflix didn't want to touch it because of some of the subject matter. And it's like, Patel must have he busted his ass trying to get this movie made. And that's the thing that I love about it the most, is the fact that you feel that blood, sweat, and tears that he put into it. So what's going on, Mr. Ali? Good to see you. All right. Trevino, I used to never have days off like that either, but now I have a union job at the big three automaker, and we contractually had Good Friday off and Monday off. Jeez, I got to get me a union job, apparently. Man, You get both Monday and Friday off? That's crazy. Thick and Wolf. Yeah, you guys and your Thick and Wolf. Azteca, what's happening? Good to see you. We got Tet as well. Oh, the King's doing well. I don't really watch hockey so much. Sorry for the cryptic, solemn words. My best friend from high school gave me a call this morning, and he and his family's home burned down last night. Lost valuables and their dog. Ouch. Jeez. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. Sorry to hear that. I mean, glad that they made it out, but yeah, it sucks. What's up with the dog stuff? Yeah, I mean, we just talked about Ryan's dog passing away. Axel's dog passed away not too long ago. Man, it's interesting. It's like, geez. Let's try to see Monkey Man next weekend. Yeah, check it out. Support it. It's good. Hey, Dave, any movies you're excited to watch later this year? There's a lot of blockbusters, but which one do you want to see the most? I think Deadpool and Wolverine. I just want to see what the hell that's going to be. That's the thing. I just wonder what in the hell is that going to be? I'm excited for that. Just with Deadpool getting into the MCU, with Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, I'm just really excited for it. Just really excited for that, But it's not the only thing. I'm excited. Seems like there's a lot of good, original movies that'll be coming out. Hopefully, like Nosferatu, that's going to be coming out later. Furiosa, I'm looking forward to. And what's coming out? I mean, I was looking forward to Monkey Man. That was hype for it, and it turned out well. Is there anything coming out next week? What's coming out next week? I feel like there's something coming out next week that. Oh, I'm looking forward to, of course, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. Guy Ritchie, I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan. He's one of my favorite directors. I'm invested to see where this goes, but I am not side flipper. I am not side flipper either. I'm rooting for Cody Rhodes to finish his story. Okay, so you're talking about wrestling stuff. I was like, huh? What are you talking about? The cast of Monkey Man was made up of Snyder fans. Jeez. Okay. What are you trying to say there, Jose? Maybe correct. They might all be. They might all be Snyder fans. Ruthie, Dave, I just watched the original Strangers movie this evening. Curious to know if you will be watching the new movie. Yep, I think I'll check it out. I watched the original movie a long time ago. That's the one with Liv Tyler and what's his name, right? And I remember enjoying it, but I only saw it once, and I saw it when it was on. I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it when it came out on video. Because that was a while ago, wasn't it? And I remember it being freaky as all hell. So yeah, I plan on seeing the new one for sure. Definitely plan on seeing the new one for sure. Dave, will you be watching WrestleMania this weekend? Dwayne is pulling a once-in-a-lifetime performance with his heel. Okay. No, I've never got into wrestling. Sorry. Just not into it. Just not into it. I keep seeing stuff because I follow people who follow that. So I see their retweets and videos and stuff. I know The Rock is making a big splash when it comes to all of that, but I'm just not into it. It's never, when I was a kid, I liked it. I was a Hulk Hogan fan. I had a wrestling buddy, which was him. And wrestling buddy was just basically just like you had like these soft, it was almost like pillowy, but a little more tougher than a pillow of like famous wrestlers that were like this, and you were able to wrestle with them, and they were very tough. Like no matter what, I mean, you could wrestle around with them. Those things didn't tear. Those things were tough. Those things were bulletproof. Wrestling buddies, look it up, Google it, Google wrestling buddy. Things were super tough. Whatever they packed, that cotton. I mean, I'm telling you, a direct. You could probably try to stab the thing, and it probably wouldn't puncture. Those things were tough. But I was into it then, and then I just kind of fell off. I think once I moved to California, I just didn't really care for it too much anymore. So, but I was into it when I was a kid, just not now. Just didn't grow up with it. Kevin, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, Dave, you ready for Rebel Moon Q&A next week? That awesome Zach team reached out to you. Yes. And for anybody who didn't know that, that is the case. I did tell the patrons and the members. Speaking of that, if anybody, any of you patrons or anybody who wants to support the channel, whether it's membership or Patreon, I'm going to do a stream tomorrow and an open invite to everybody who supports the channel. So all you guys that support the channel, I also have another thing I'm going to start doing too, when it comes to you supporters, because obviously you guys being, the fact that you support with a little bit extra every month, which cheers to you guys. I'm going to, I'm going to start doing the Patreon streams a little bit more, but I have like another little thing that I'm going to be doing too. So looking forward to that. But yeah, so tomorrow it'll be probably around 6 o'clock. I think it's going to be 5 or 6 Pacific time. So if you want to be a part of that, you're already part of the membership or the Patreon. Just look for the link. And if you want to come on and have a chat for a little bit, let's have a chat. But like I said, just something for the extra support out there. So cheers. But yes, I did say on the members only stream, and then I said in my Patreon podcast earlier this week that yes, because I wasn't sure if I was going to go to the Rebel Moon screening that's happening next Thursday, because it's on a Thursday, and I'm back on a work schedule again, and I was just kind of like, driving to LA, I don't know. That's just such a pain in the ass. And I don't know, Thursday, that's just, and I was like, and then it's like a whole thing where you had to submit your name. And it was like, you know what, let people who want to do that, it's whatever. And then all of a sudden I get a message from for an invite. So obviously, who the invite's coming from, a certain guy who might have directed the movie. So it was just kind of like, okay, not gonna say no to that. So yes, I'm going to be. That's right. That's what's going to be next week. Is I'll be watching Rebel Moon Part 2, going out to the Egyptian in LA. So if anybody's in the LA area, anybody who's going to that screening, by all means, if you see me there, come up and say hi and everything. So that should be a good time. All I know is work the next day. I'm probably gonna get like fucking 2 hours sleep. So yeah, that definitely is happening. What's going on, Cortez? Good to see ya. No more dogs are allowed to die. Yeah, I know. Seriously, it just seems like what's going on here. Let's protect these. I mean, goddamn, and we've been seeing David Cornsweat's dog all over social media when it comes to Superman, the Superman set. So hey, yeah, protect him, please protect him. Yeah. Let's see who else we got. Yeah, I know. I can't. Yeah, that's the next. I think that. I mean, I'm of course excited for Rebel Moon, but I'm really excited for that one. Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp fan question: do you think it's possible to make a good female comic book movie despite some of the failures out there? Yes, I absolutely do think that. It's just, it's all the sad fact of the matter is the Marvels was made by Marvel Studios. It was not, you didn't feel like there was any kind of director in there. It was, you could tell that there was a lot of things that were mismanaged. Same with Madam Web. It's like you can't tell that there's a director actually directing any of that. So yes, it's very much possible if you let the fucking director direct the fucking movie. That's what it is. Absolutely what it is. No, I think a majority of people don't have a problem with, we haven't had problems with strong female leads, heroic leads in the past. But the fact of the matter is the ones like, like your like Ripley and your Sarah Connors, and you have no problems with those because they were handled with care. You just got to handle this stuff with care. And that's what I'm hoping for when it comes to Supergirl. And that's why the fact that there might not be a female director that's directing it doesn't bother me, because I'm just kind of hoping like, all right, if Craig Gillespie, is that what his name is? Gillespie? If he's the right man for the job and he has great ideas and he spent some time with the writer, I forgot what her name was, but if they had like, if they gelled and James Gunn saw that too, then by all means let it happen. But yeah, I think it's definitely possible. And It just sucks because, yeah, like I said, the Marvels and Madam Web was just handled very, very poorly. And it was just like, it was the studio just fucking around too much. It's like, stop doing that. Do you think the Silver Surfer controversy and discourse is overblown? It's always overblown. Is it going to impact the perception of this movie throughout production? Feel like many are now rooting against the movie on YouTube. It's just, well, there's always that side that's rooting against it. I think it's going to be fine. Like I said, it would be awesome and it would be hilarious if Marvel announces next week that, oh yeah, we also got the male Silver Surfer. We got both Silver Surfers from the books. We got both of them. Wouldn't that be hilarious if they actually did that? I think that would be smart. If they were like, hey, we're going to have both Silver Surfers in this movie, but we're going to announce the female one first because obviously that's going to blow up and cause a bunch of discourse and discussions, which it has already. Obviously, there are people that are just going like, saying the W word. But I think that would be that would actually be a win if they did that. And I hope they actually do that. Because then that would shut people up and be like, oh, okay, so we got both Silver Surfers. Why are they in this movie? Huh? So, yeah, I don't know. There's always going to be, but basically, there's always going to be that section of YouTube that is going to root against all of this. They hate it all. And no matter what, they're just going to always say that this stuff is woke. Everything is woke and blah, blah, blah. I'm always one of those where, yeah, I don't like it shoved in my face when they do stuff like maybe this, but then at the same time, I'm always like, all right, well, I'll give it a chance. Make it make sense. And there is a female Silver Surfer in the books. So, okay. But does that mean there's a male one in there too? And that's why I'm going Marvel. You have an opportunity here to just kind of like create the discourse and then squash the discourse and actually have people get hyped for the movie. Because like, hey, both are here. Hey, Mama Film Junkie's here. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. Love you. The Silver Woker. Stupid. Always with the good ones, Jose. Always with the good ones. What's going on, Venom Wire? Not gonna lie, I like seeing heel rock, but I still don't want him. See, I don't even know what heel rock is. I'm like, what the hell is heel rock? Yeah, see, I don't know this lingo that you guys are talking about. Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? JD McRae, what's up, Dave? Have you been reading any comics lately? You know what? I've been lacking on my comic book reading lately. Sadly, I've been diving into mountain of comics lately, trying to knock some out. Yeah, sadly. Hey, we got Venom here. Uh-oh. We are Venom. Hello. And you guys are just having all kinds of discussions about wrestling. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, you were on the last one, right, Tet? So, yeah, if you want to join, yeah, like I said, I'll let you guys know. I'll probably shoot for 5 o'clock Pacific time. And, yeah, just anybody who's supporting the channel, let's have a chat if you want to have a chat. I still have not watched it. I know I keep on saying it. I know I'm just like holding out a little bit because I know not all the episodes are there. I still haven't watched Invincible. I got to catch up on so many things, but it's just like, man, when it comes to the weekend, sometimes I'm like, I catch myself scrolling through like TikTok or some stupid shit, which I got to stop doing that. Or I find myself just like, trying to like work on some things or whatever the hell. I know I got to like sit down and just actually like watch some of this stuff, but I haven't reactivated my Disney Plus account yet. So I'll get there soon. Let's see. Shiraz. You going to see? Hell yeah, I'm going to see Civil War. I love me some Alex Garland, and I keep hearing good things about that. It looks pretty insane. And from what from the people that have already seen it, and they gave their like early reactions online a few weeks ago, everybody was going like, "Holy shit, masterpiece!" So yeah, that's what I'm definitely looking forward to. Atomic Blonde, yeah, that was a good one. That would be awesome, but we all know Marvel and their Mishiu. Uh-oh. Their Mishiu. I there's that whole thing, but I think they just got to let the directors direct. My God. You can't just sell the movie because, oh my God, look at all, it's females. It's females. It's females. And it's like, no, you have to actually make a good movie. You know, that's the thing. I think it's because Captain Marvel, when that came out, it wasn't that great. I think it's one of the worst MCU movies, but they just sold it on the fact of like, hey, they were selling it on the fact of like, hey, the first female, they were trying to take it away. They were trying to take away Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman, I mean, that worked because guess what? It was handled with care. We had Zach producing and Patty Jenkins directing, and it was handled with care. So Wonder Woman was freaking awesome. And I remember with Captain Marvel, they're trying to sell it like, hey, it's the first female superhero. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, there's already been a Wonder Woman. What are you guys saying? But then they're like, oh, the first Marvel. And it was like, wait a minute, there's Elektra. Remember when Elektra came out? It's the first Marvel Studios. They kept having to scale it back. You know, I'm gonna love it to the fact that when we don't have to there's no breaking of the glass ceilings anymore. We've already had the first for everything. So now it's just like, all right, we got past all the first this, first that, first this. Now just make good fucking movies. I don't care what the star looks like. Just make a good fucking movie. That's all. I think most of us care about that is just make a good movie. Man, I'm dropping some F-bombs today. Blame it on the vodka. How dare you, Dave? It's Bad Guy Rock. Sorry. I don't know. But you remind me, Lane, since we share our love of Kurt Cobain, let me raise my glass. 30 years ago today, Kurt Cobain, sadly, of course, committed suicide. I probably shouldn't even say that on YouTube. It probably he unalived himself. I'm already gonna get flagged for saying that. Probably YouTube's weird like that. But yeah, Kurt Cobain died 30 years ago today. So cheers to that. I have a picture of him framed above my TV. It's a black and white picture. I posted it online. You guys have seen it. It's black and white. He's sitting down with an acoustic guitar and he's taking a puff out of off of cigarette right there. It's just such a cool. I bought that years ago. I've had that for probably, well, it was a poster at first, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put this in a frame, but I've had it for over a decade. But yeah, cheers to Kurt Cobain. Rock should have played Black Adam like he plays. I know, right? Well, if he's evil, yeah, there you go. What's going on, Alakazoo? Hello there. Wrestling is fake. It's all fake. Oh, man, she looked good in that costume, though, didn't she? David Cornsweat as Superman, Clark Kent, Ultraman. We'll see if that's going to be actually the case. We will see. Ruthie, Dave the Maxine trailer lands tomorrow. Super excited. You know what? I still have to watch those movies. Do we have oh shit. We got a walk-off. I have baseball on right now. I have the big inning thing, which shows all the games that are playing right now. Walk-off home run for the Braves. Look at that in extra innings. Wow. In your face, Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks took an early lead, too. The Diamondbacks took an early lead, and look at that. The Braves came back to win it in the 10th. That's pretty awesome. I love me some walk-offs. That's what I love about baseball. Walk-offs are the best. And I'm so glad that my team got a walk-off today for their opening day stuff. Love that. But yeah, that's what I love about baseball, like especially when it's tied and you got those late innings or something like that, and you just get a walk-off. It's just very exciting. It's very exciting. All right. Just setting out some things here. I got a couple others. But anyways, what are we saying over here? Rest in peace to the legend. That's right. Kurt Cobain, man. Sucks. What's going on, Skate and Geek Out? Hey, Dave, good news. I hear Alien Romulus is not only connected to Alien and Aliens, but also the prequels. Maybe they'll finish the prequels if it does well. That's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting to see how much it's connected to all the stuff, because we have two kind of, obviously Alien and Aliens are iconic. And then you got Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, which I don't mind either one of them. They're not bad entries. I'm not gonna lie. Like when it comes to I've never there's not an Alien movie I hate. I guess you could say there's not one I go, God, they shit the bed on that. Alien 3 took a way different approach. David Fincher, but I suggest everybody watching the director's cut. It's so much better. And I still like it. And I actually do like Alien Resurrection to a point too. It probably is the weakest one of the bunch, and yes, I know, guys, that fucking redheaded devil, bald-headed ginger snaps devil, Joss Whedon. I think he wrote that, right? But it's still not that bad of a movie. And then of course you have Prometheus, which was very intriguing. And then Covenant tried to veer away from Prometheus a little bit, but still had Prometheus stuff in there. Wasn't that great either, but I would say there hasn't been a terrible Alien by itself movie that I don't I don't hate it. I don't think it's terrible. I think they've all been pretty good. I can't say that about the Predator movies because I forget. I always forget about Prey. Prey was great. That was the last Predator movie. That was fantastic. But the one previous to that, The Predator, was a shit sandwich. And then the Alien versus Predator movies were shit sandwiches as well. Just not good. It's not good. It's what were you even thinking when it came to that stuff? I don't know. It's just dumb. You got Alien versus Predator. There's a video game. There's comic books. There's all kinds of stuff that shows you exactly how to do an Alien versus Predator movie, and you're gonna not do it like that. You're gonna do it differently. You're gonna have Alien versus Predator movie is gonna be a bunch of archaeologist kind of people who find pyramids in the Arctic or whatever the hell. And then you're gonna have it's gonna be PG-13, and you're gonna have the Predator and the main girl team up with each other. Where at one point I thought they were gonna actually kiss. It almost seemed like it was very stupid. It was very stupid. And then, okay, so let's do AVP Requiem, which is R-rated, make it a horror, but you're going to make it where it's like a fucking horror slasher film, in some small town. Really? You're going to have it like that? Ugh, it was just so terrible. It's literally there's a video game that has all you need. Have it have the aliens, have it have the predators, and have it have the Marines. You have all three right there. And it was an awesome video game because you could play either one. You could be a Marine or an alien or a predator, and yeah, such a freaking fun game. It's just make a movie like that. Make a movie like that. Is it that hard? Apparently it is. Jeez, sorry, went off on a little bit of a rant right there. I would rather watch Elektra director's cut than Captain Marvel and Black Widow. Yeah, there's Black Widow. Yeah. I didn't really like Black Widow either. Did you see the Daredevil Born Again and will be in 2 parts? They just wrapped the first part. Will be in. Oh, okay. I didn't know that they divided up in 2 parts. Interesting. Hey, Dave, just watched Devs for the first time. Really enjoyed that. Alex Garland, of course. That was a good little mini series. I was watching all of Alex Garland's stuff leading up to Civil War. I hadn't seen Devs and Men. Yeah, Men is, I forget that Alex Garland made that movie, Men. It's a good movie. Just go back and watch my first reaction. That came out over a year ago, right? That came out, 2 years ago, maybe. I remember watching it and just being like, wow, that was something. It's a good movie, but it's one of those movies where you go, I'm not going to revisit it, probably. it's one of those movies where like the last like 15 minutes, I was squirming in my seat. I was going, oh, like what is like, oh, good God. It gets weird. It gets very weird. But I totally appreciate Alex Garland doing that. I love it when directors just, you know what, shoot your shot. You're like, you have these ideas of something just crazy, batshit crazy. Fucking do it. And he did it. And I can enjoy it, but I'm not going to be going, I can't wait till that comes out on video to watch it again. You know, it's just not one of those movies that you just, yeesh. Let's see. Yeah, Resurrection is not the best, and yeah, he shadow wrote it. Okay. What? Did he? No, he didn't. You're lying. Did he really? No. I don't know. I can never believe anything that he says. Let's see. Any other questions here before I start inviting some people in here? Playing the Marine was scary. Yes, it was. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's right there. It's like, just bring back the Marines. And then them taking on, and them being in the middle of a fight between the aliens and the predators. Oy. It's just, I just don't see how it's like hard. No, I haven't even started watching the new season yet. This is how far behind I am on certain things. I know I need to just take this weekend and watch X-Men 97, Shogun, and Invincible. That's what I need to do. I don't know. I'm probably going to have to like just wait till everything's done and then binge watch the shit out of everything. Hey, Malignant was great too. I loved it. I loved how crazy that movie was. Dave, that's why I love watching the Grindhouse. Yeah, Grindhouse movies are fun. They're fun. The Scientist, Dumb Decisions, and Prometheus was all, oh yeah. Fortunately, yeah. It's all good. And then, of course, you have Dune 3 is in the works. Yeah, I just wonder exactly when we're going to get it. Like, I understand that it's in the works, and I can understand that Legendary and Warner Brothers wanted to put it out there, but Villeneuve, he's working on a whole different project right now based on some novel called Nuclear something. So he's going to be doing that first. So, like, again, we're not going to get Messiah for another 5, maybe 6 years. We're probably not going to get it until 2030. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get Dune Messiah. Maybe a little earlier, maybe 2028. As much as that hurts me to say, we're not going to probably get that for a while, but there is a time jump when it comes to at least that one, right? So I guess that's okay. I don't know. I'm so behind on things. You're just watching Squid Game. Holy Lord. Yeah. I'm behind on things too. I mean, yeah, like I said, Shogun and Reacher season 2. That's another one. I really enjoyed the first season, and I haven't watched the second season yet either. It's just, it sucks because I always have like the intention on like, I got to watch some things. Then the weekend comes and I just lay in bed till like fucking 11 o'clock or even noon sometimes. And I'm just like scrolling, not doing anything productive or anything like that. You know, I'm just like, I mean, it's nice though. It's always nice, you know, after working like a long week, you're laying in bed, you make some coffee, you get back into bed, and then you're just sipping coffee and you're just watching dumb shit. It's fun. It's fun. But then, you know, like I said, my feeds are all weird. Like when it comes to like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, my feeds are all different. So I get like different things, and I just go like, I go through all of them. And then of course I'll go through Twitter and see some shit. I don't know. It's fun. Anyways, cheers. Yeah, it's all the vodka right there. Woo! Vodka's flowing. Brightness. No more baseball. Big inning is over. All right. That's right. Got to pour the wine. Told you guys I've been on a wine kick recently. Well, you know, red wine. It's the healthier of alcohols. I just got tired of the seltzers, and I'm not going to be sipping vodka for 4 hours. That leads to a lot of bad hangovers. So can wine, but not as Not as bad, I've realized. And as long as I drink some heavily electrolyte fluids after I'm done, I should be okay. Anyways, all right. So thank you guys for all the questions and all this stuff like that. Let's go ahead and start bringing in some peeps into here. We got Dawson. We
What's
got
up?
Andy. We got Phil. What is happening, gentlemen?
Phil, what's up, man?
Where the fuck were you on Wednesday?
I was driving.
Jesus Christ.
You know exactly where it was. I told you where it was.
We got drama right at the beginning. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Hi, Andy.
Whatever this is.
That was hilarious. Oh, man.
Just get attacked.
Just attacked right there. But thank you, gentlemen, for joining, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Dawson, of course, you're drawing right now.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Actually, let me show you guys.
Yeah.
I think your audience will appreciate this.
Oh, that's bad.
How about that?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna fill in this doorway with like all black for like a dark room he's coming out of. Got some more detail in there.
Yeah,
Cracked walls in the background.
that's pretty sweet.
I hadn't drawn a armored Batfleck or a Batfleck in general in a long time, so I needed to, flex
I
those
like it.
muscles a little bit.
I like it. And yeah, guys, if you follow Dawson on TikTok, I really dig your, the sticky note little quick drawing request things that you put. I think, and I know I told you about this earlier in DMs, but yeah, it's just a unique thing like that. You take requests and then you just quickly sketch something real quick like that. I just think it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I did Spider-Man Noir today. It was an Instagram follower request, but yeah, no, they're fun. They're very gimmicky, and especially with like Comic-Cons, for people who like want to get stuff at Comic-Cons but don't necessarily have the money to get stuff, it's just one of those fun things. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. No, I just like when I see them come across my feed, I'm like, yeah, it's cool little like like you said, like you said, gimmicky, but it's just really like because it just starts off with you just throw the little sticky notes down and you start drawing and then you do a little voiceover over it.
Yeah,
I dig
it takes
it.
like 5 attempts to get it placed in the right spot.
I'm sure. Yeah, because it always seems like it's perfect, but of course, it's never going to be perfect. But yeah. So if you're on TikTok, follow that, guys. It's really cool. It's really cool to see the outcome. And he's got talent. He's got talent, as you saw with that drawing right there.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain, But I saw like Screen Rant posting your Rosenbaum interview.
Yeah, it's been they sharing clips here and there.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Nice.
that wasn't. How long ago was that interview?
I think it was late February.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we only just released it like 2 weeks ago. So because we were waiting for some things. So yeah.
How was it talking to him?
I mean, I've been waiting 20 plus years to talk to the best Lex Luthor. So it was everything I had wished for and more.
I did like your idea of like a round table.
One of my friends is like, of course you're in a fucking podcast mindset when you do anything these days. I'm like, listen, like I didn't know how he was going to respond, but he was like, oh yeah,
He's like, that's a good idea. That's a good. I mean, and then it was funny too because I retweeted that clip when I saw that on my feed. And then somebody responded and said, like, yeah, it'd be sweet to see Eisenberg and Hackman talk. And I was like, yeah. But I was like, Gene Hackman, that guy is, I mean, he's 92.
Yeah.
92. I saw images of him last week. He was like out and about for the first time that anybody has seen him in years. And yeah, he's, I mean, we're probably going to be hearing something soon. I mean, he's not looking too great, but I mean, 92 years, that's a good stretch. It's a good stretch. But I was thinking about that. I was like, man, as much as that would be cool, I was like, but no, good job with that. And it was funny too, because he sounded like he wanted to actually do something like that. It's like, that would be pretty sweet if somehow he did round up some Lex Luthors into like a round table like that. It'd be pretty sweet.
You're welcome, Michael.
See?
He's a sweetie. We've been chatting a little bit here and there, and he's just the coolest. We spoke for like an hour, and we got into a lot of things actually. So things that I didn't even know had happened. Like he talked about like he had been asked to come back to a different DC show. He wouldn't tell me which one, but he was kind of like he asked me to come back. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that was about.
I don't know which one was it. Was it Green Arrow? You think it was?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. But I'm like,
not even a hint, huh?
No, I think he was. Maybe he was worried that he was gonna like.
Yeah, NDAs and shit.
Yeah.
But I know he was cool. He was really cool, and I mean, it is, I know people say don't meet your heroes, but like in this case, it was just because I've always looked up to his Lex since I was 8, 7, whenever the show premiered. So after 20 plus years, it was everything I'd hoped for.
The whole the expression "don't meet your heroes." I mean, I understand it too, because like, yeah, it can be bad. You have to take that risk, but there's many times where, I mean, Jesus Christ, I've met Zach. I've talked to Zach. He's one of my considered heroes because he's one of my favorite directors. Nicest guy in the world. It's it's like I get why that expression exists, because there's horror stories when it comes to certain things, but it's not always the case. And I think my whole approach is there's a chance this person might be a douche, and don't be surprised if that's the case. But be pleasantly surprised. Be pleasant, if they're not, then great. There you go. And I think from what I've heard, there's a lot of people in Hollywood that aren't, douchey like that. But then of course you hear the horror stories and you go, yeah, that checks out. Talking to you, Dalo. Anyways, what?
It just depends on the person. Honestly, like you said, like for meeting someone like Zack Snyder, for instance, coolest thing ever, super nice guy. And then you hear stories of like one of my comic heroes is Frank Miller, and he kind of embodies in a lot of ways the kind of don't meet your heroes persona. From just the stories that I've heard from people that have met him at Comic Cons and stuff. I still love his work and everything, but it just really depends on the person. Depends on how much they value the fans' time. And just depends.
No, and someone like Frank, you kind of almost expect that when you hear stuff about Frank Miller. You're like, he's not going to be approachable. Maybe, he's not going to be one of those. And you just got to look at it like that. It's like, but but somebody like Zach, like nicest freaking guy in the freaking world,
Oh yeah.
And he'll shake everybody's hands. He'll take pictures. He'll have conversations. He'll make jokes. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, so it's that expression. I think there's a lot of people that use that have been, jaded by people they've met. And it's like, that's what happens, sadly. But then you always hear, oh yeah, I met so-and-so, nicest guy in the world. But then you'll hear about the horror stories. And I think we're always more intrigued by the negativity, I guess, more than anything. So, but how you doing, Phil?
Well, I stayed home sick today because of allergies, so that was fun. No, I'm lying. My back hurts. My nose is kind of stuffy. My head is now like subsiding from a headache. Other than that, I'm A-okay. It's been a long week. It's been a long month, and it's only 5 days into the month.
Jeez.
Just like basic spring allergies, or?
Yeah. I will say, though, I did finish watching The Bear for the 2 seasons they have now.
That's another thing that's on my list, too, that I haven't watched.
I've heard good things.
So good. Just so excellent in every way, shape, or form. John Bernthal makes a surprise appearance a couple times. I won't say what role he is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And there's also another high-profile actress in it as well who's fantastic in the middle amount of time she's in it. And just all-around great show. I will recommend it. Okay. X-Men 97 also continues to impress. I did not get I know you saw Monkey Man. A lot of other people have seen it. I did not get the chance to see it. I did get my ticket for Star Wars, The Phantom Menace 25th anniversary re-release.
Yes. I need to go see that. Me and a friend of mine are like, that's what we're gonna do next time we hang out.
That's the only one I have not seen outside of the original trilogy in theaters. Because the first one I saw was Attack of the Clones.
Waited.
Same.
I waited 4 hours in line when that fucking thing came out. That was before we could, that was before you could buy your tickets and pick your seats. That was before the internet and social media and all that stuff. Back in my day, that was what, in 2001?
1999.
1999. Ah, geez, even more. Yeah. So I was still in high school. Yeah, or I was in junior high. I don't know. But yeah, I remember we went that Saturday and we waited in line for 4 hours. Wow. Oh my God. Crazy. So, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, there was something fun about it because, you know, you're with friends, you're hanging out, and there's a bunch of people dressed up and stuff like that. So it wasn't like that bad. It was electric, you know, it was a moment. So, I mean, but still, I still like the fact that it's like, hey, when a new big movie's coming out, first off, I don't have to wait till like a Saturday or, you know, do a midnight show, and I can see it on a Thursday and buy tickets real quick and just get a seat and be guaranteed that seat. So
yeah,
it's nice.
There's also a chance I might see Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare this Saturday before it releases everywhere.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah. That's good.
That one looks fun.
Yeah. That looks to be the better film that Henry Cavill was in this year as opposed to the
other. Still haven't seen Argyle, and I'll watch it one of these times, but I don't know. I think I was interested at first, and then the more I saw about it, and then when I saw people's reactions, I'm like, yeah, this movie, I don't know. I'll wait. I'll wait. But we got Mr. Chris Balga right here. What is happening, sir?
What's up? Evening, gentlemen.
How you doing?
What's up?
Just got out of Monkey Man a few hours ago.
Ah, well, okay. So I think you're the only one that besides me have seen it. What were your thoughts?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. The trailer led me to believe a different version of John Wick. But when it started bringing in like background and kind of the revenge story, I thought it was good. It built the character a little bit more. It didn't move the needle, but I wasn't disappointed. I saw it. It definitely is not even. It was just a fun action flick.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like it sells you as, hey, this is like John Wick in India kind of thing, and it's like, okay, cool. I mean, obviously it's a revenge story. We know that, but yeah, when you actually watch the thing, you see how it plays out. It's like it kind of goes. You kind of go, all right, this is taking its time a little bit. So now I can't wait to watch it again, just to be like, all right, now I want to appreciate on the level of building up the story and this like origin of the revenge story and how it plays out, because it doesn't just, you know, like John Wick goes, hey, starts off funeral, dog, comes across asshole Russians, kill dog, now he's back. And now he's.
We do have a dog in this. We do have a dog.
There is a dog that shows up in this. And
why the dogs?
The dog. There is a dog that present in this. Not, you know, but this one takes its time where you kind of get little pieces in the first 2 acts of what happened to his mother, kind of thing, and why he wants. And then of course he's gonna have to do it. You know, it just kind of takes, because like I said, it's sold to you more of that, which I get why they did it.
Now the final act was was just like all out action, just what I've been waiting for. But it's definitely a lot of the hero's journey.
Yes,
at that point, especially towards that middle sequence with. You get a kind of a break in the action and a rebuilding of the character.
Yeah, for sure. So I recommend it. But yeah, it's just like one of those where like, oh, okay, it's not quite that movie. And but yeah, Dev Patel is going to be, I think he's going to be he's going to make many films, and he's going to be, and I can't wait to see what his next thing that he's going to do, because it's shot very well. And the action shot well. I mean, sometimes the shaky cam got a little whoa, but you know, but at the same time, there's a lot of like, there was especially like, again, he saved all, like not all of it, but a lot of the good camera work and a lot of good things for that final act. It just, there's a lot of like no cuts and like a lot of like sequences where it's going, and then you could tell like, oh yeah, there probably was a cut there, but they did a thing where they maneuvered the camera where you didn't see the cut. And I was like, okay, there's some like long takes here that, you know, and it's pretty insane. So
yeah, it's like I said, it's a good action flick. If you need something just to I wouldn't, you know, you want to go crazy, you want to go sci-fi, go see Godzilla and Kong. At this point, you want to kind of a little more quote unquote grounded and just get down. It It was really interesting that Netflix didn't want to court this. When I read that story today, at that point, I was like, "You court other controversy. This is the line in the sand you draw."
They're like, "Oh, we're not going to deal with India politics." Why not? But at the same time, I mean, again, that was kind of like, oh, okay, that's part of the plot too. You don't really get a sense of that when it comes to the trailer. But yeah, there's like this whole thing where there's people clashing with people. There's leaders. There's an election thing that's all happening. So I mean, yeah, like I said, it's like they sell you as revenge. This guy is fucking everybody up. There you go. And then it's like, well, wait, there's like this whole culture. There's this whole political aspect to it, and the character is like, you know, like you said, the hero's journey. It's not like he's just some badass that just goes, all right, I've been training and now it's my time. It's more of like, well, yeah, he's been training and then he's like going to get to that point, but he's going to fail
first. And a lot.
So yeah, good hero's journey movie for sure. But anyways, well, I mean, what happened this week? Anything?
Nah.
Jeez.
No
Anything
controversies.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez.
Well, I had watched the finale of Invincible just a little bit ago. I'm catching up with stuff too.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I'm
sorry.
halfway through it.
Don't apologize, Phil. I'm freaking loving it. You can just shut your mouth. I know you don't like Robert Kirkman, but you can just silence yourself when I talk about one of my favorite writers ever.
You want me to go get in the corner? I'll go sit in the corner for a minute.
Go. I banish you.
No one puts baby in the corner.
Yeah, no one. But no, man, I'm loving what they're doing with that series. They are basically caught up with the first compendium of the story, which is like the first 47 issues.
That's neat.
Phil.
He's just gonna poke you, Dawson. He's just gonna poke.
I know him well. He's co-host with me. Yeah. I know that very well. But yeah, no, I'm just really liking it, and I can't say enough about what they're doing with the adaptation.
I am happy for you. I'm glad you like it. There was one thing that I saw that I won't say because I know Chris hasn't gotten there yet, but there was one thing I was like, oh, well, that's neat.
Nah, I think I know what you're talking about. I got there.
Well, true, you are on the internet, so you've probably seen it more times.
Well, I mean, I saw it thankfully after I was wondering if that was going to happen. And thankfully,
I think I know what you guys are talking about because I saw something on my feed too. Is this in comparison to something else, or no? Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, it's probably
the same thing.
Yeah, a little tip of the hat, but I've enjoyed. I've been a big fan of the Invincible comics since it's come out. At that point, I think they've done a good job with it. I thought Kirkman's statement that next season's going to be every episode's going to be like a finale. I was like. Yeah, they're ramping up. They could have the whole series done within 5 seasons.
Well, you don't want to overstay your welcome, you know?
Exactly.
You know, and I think when they, you know, there's been series out there in the past like 20 years. Yeah, they just go like, you went overboard a little bit. You should have ended it right here.
You mean like Smallville?
I think it's harder to do that. With animation.
I'm sorry, Andy. I had to.
Just after he talked to Rosenbaum.
Seriously,
that was a good interview.
But I do think that it's harder to go overboard with animation just because it takes so much work to create both the visuals and the like voice acting and everything. Whereas live action, like you just bring the actors in, film more. Like obviously, it's not easy. But with animation, like you have to be very focused on what are we going to do? This is what we're going to animate. And so I think they're be more focused with that, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like I said, I like the fact I even read that quote today too, where it was like, oh yeah, you know, he doesn't want to, he's like, yeah, it's thinking about, you know, the way that everything could be like kind of finale. And then, you know, it's just basically what I took about it. It's like, yeah, he doesn't want to overstay his welcome. It's like, all right, you know, we're not going to just keep on going just because it's popular. And we're just going to try to like, let's try to grab something and we could do something with it. As long as they keep the, like, if the writing's good, just keep on going. Sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, animation's a little bit harder because it takes more time, you know.
So overstaying their welcome. Axel should try listening to that.
Ooh. Oh,
did you say Axel?
Yeah, I did say Axel.
Oh,
did I fucking stutter? Actually, I did a little bit, but anyway.
Did I stutter?
Oh man,
dang! controversy here.
Boom, boom, shots fired. Holy shit!
Everyone's getting shots at him.
I know, man. Who's gonna? Yeah, we're all just taking shots.
I do it to be playful. These two know I don't mean anything malicious with anything I say.
I know.
They know, and Chris does too.
I know.
Oh, you're saying that Dave doesn't? That he can't take a joke? Is that what you're saying?
No, Dave does too.
No,
Dave knows full well I'm always joking.
You should include him in the conversation. Is all I'm saying.
He's the host. He knows I mean him too.
Oh.
Come on.
Of course. Anyways, but okay, so now, well, we might as well ask, like, how are we feeling about this possible Ultraman and Superman thing that's going on? Because I mean, well,
he didn't deny it. He did.
Yes, he did. Okay, so we'll get to. I'll even pull up his. Yeah, I'll pull up the message that he put on, I think, Threads. But it was just kind of funny because obviously this is all part of the Scooper game. There was talks of it beginning of the week, and then another Scooper confirmed it, and I'm just like, all right. I was kind of funny. It was like a Scooper confirmed something that doesn't even that's an oxymoron. It's in my eyes. I'm like, how does like somebody like that we don't know if he's right is confirming something that could be wrong? It's just, to me, I'm just like going, all right.
Can we just say
weird.
Scooper agrees at that point?
Yeah, or Scooper backs a scoop or something.
Exactly. We can't say confirmed. It was like, no, you're just because you're a broken clock doesn't mean.
Are we not
going to
talk about Dave's screen just went dark?
Oh man, I don't know what happened on my freaking thing. You guys can still hear me, right?
Oh, look at all the
and we can
beautiful
kind of see you now.
Wow.
Hold on.
Wow, 500.
Look at those settings. Those are
wow. He won't even go to 4,000. Wow, what a coward! Imagine in 2024 not want to go up to 4,000. Wow, I thought you were a man, Dave. Maybe Rachel Zegler was right about you.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, sorry.
Man,
I don't know what's going on.
Now we're really Vodka Stream after dark.
I know, right?
What else is some slow jazz?
What are you using?
I don't know. I think like because I have like a power cable that connects to like a little battery thing in there. I think.
You got. Oh, I do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it might be a little loose. I don't know. I might have to adjust some things right there, but I don't know.
Fuck.
Just inside the mind of Dave's technology.
Yeah, right.
What I don't understand is why is the entire room so dark suddenly? Like, how did?
I think it's because like when I do Film Junkie Live and I have all the lights on, I put it at 500 because it's all bright in here. But so I think that's just like the default setting kind of thing. Anyways, that was weird. We're back, guys. We're back. Anyways, what were we talking about? Ultraman.
Kryptonite Huffer.
Yeah.
Kryptonite Huffer.
What? Not wrong.
Oh, you're not. No, you're not. Anyone familiar with the source material gets that joke.
Nope.
That's too funny. I mean,
but what's up? Wait, what does huffing mean?
Oh,
he smokes. He does kryptonite. Like
kryptonite fuels him instead of hurting him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then use a fucking modern word in huffing.
Like he's a teacher. He's a principal, for crying out loud. No offense, Chris. I'm not trying to
I've never heard any teachers
show your business out in the world, but like, he's an educator. It's what he does.
So is my mother. She doesn't say huffing for shit.
Okay, sniffing the kryptonite. I mean,
yeah, there you go. Okay.
Snorting.
Welcome to 2024, Chris. How
inhaling,
vaping.
Yeah, he likes to huff on that kryptonite. We got Rebecca Johnson also here.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hey guys, I came in at a weird time.
Yeah, we're talking about Ultraman right here and his interesting habits of huffing. Huffing kryptonite.
Rebecca, do you know anyone who fucking uses huffing in 2024?
Have you never heard that?
I'm clearly
people say that it is a thing people say.
What people?
People who need to use the word huffing. Use it.
You know what?
I don't use it because I don't do that.
I still love you, Andy. I still love you.
I love you too. Until Kamala Harris uses that word, it doesn't exist to me.
Okay, all right, but it does exist. Yeah, it's a word.
Wow.
It's a thing people say.
Now I'm deliberately going to use that anytime we play Counter-Strike 2. Now I'm going to find ways to use the word huffing. Just
suddenly we're not going to play any video games anymore.
Funny enough, my schedule is now too busy to play.
No, I can play. Just not what happened.
You don't know the Three Little Pigs story, Andy? At least you know that. Huffing and puffing and blowing the house in. Yeah.
Good example.
Yeah.
I just say blow. Never mind. Skip me.
Yeah, no, that's let it go. Yeah.
There it is.
He just says puff twice. I'll puff and blow your house down.
Yes.
Anyways, Rebecca, thank you for joining.
Sure. Thanks for allowing me to be part of your stream.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Look at our little background. Duck Milk Productions. Is lit up.
I'm trying to work on branding. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying
new things. Yeah.
Is it the same green screen? Did you finally get a new one?
I know it's my same crappy old green screen. Yeah. No, I still need to reinvest and get a new good one, but it still works. It's decent. Good. Yeah.
Wait till she brings out the green bowl, then it really becomes magic.
Yeah, y'all would not compliment my green screen if you actually saw what it looked like back here. It is not pretty. It is.
I get it. Before I took mine down, I mean, there was rips in it. There was threads all on the side. When I moved the last time, one of the box that it was in got water damage, so there was spot. There was a water spot on it too. Oh yeah. Yeah,
mine is wrinkly, which is not the ideal.
I barely notice it.
But it looks good though. Your friend.
Yeah. No, but it would be fun. Like, Machine and I would do live commentaries on the Flash podcast, and when we do like we went through the whole Snyderverse trilogy. I remember the first time she had her green screen on, and then I saw she was eating out of something. I'm like, Ricka, what are you eating out of? She's like, my bowl. I'm like, what bowl? He's like, this bowl. And I'm like,
it was basically like a popcorn bowl that was green.
And it merged with the background. I'm just like, what the
and it was invisible.
I did
gaslighting me, being like, don't you see this buffet that I'm eating from? And I'm just like, where's the popcorn coming from? Because I see the popcorn, but I don't see the bowl. So it's
it was a prank a long time in the making.
Yeah.
It's magic.
And an accidental, unintentional prank for sure.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like when it comes to green screen, there's so many factors that you have to. I mean, I was even watching a podcast today, and it's a professional podcast, and they have a green screen behind, and it's funny because the reflection off their headphones, like because like if you have headphones, even if it's like black, there could be, if it's not like a matte black, it's gonna have reflections off it. So if they turn a certain way, all of a sudden it's like it turns invisible. You see like nothing because the green, it's keying it out, and it's just like, you guys aren't taking into account of this. Like, I mean, you're a professional here, and like I can totally, and as much as I was trying to pay attention to what they were talking about, I just kept on going. And even the clothes, like his clothes, there's like certain things where it's like he looks like he's transparent. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, so I mean, even the professionals get it wrong.
Dave's just like, that wouldn't happen on the vodka stream. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, like, it's just one of the. I mean, when I had my green screen, I just was like, you know what, I don't need it anymore, at least for just doing the stuff. But yeah, I mean, I have, you have the 3-point kind of lighting. I had a light down there, my 2 lights, and it's just, and even then, it's like, when I would try to do certain things, I'm like, God damn, that looks, it's messed up right here. And then of course I have my glasses, which that can be reflective when it comes to stuff. It's just so many things, so many elements when it comes to green screen.
Are you lighting all that yourself? Because it's hard to light yourself.
Oh yeah. I was lighting it all. So
hard. I do that too. And it's
so and it's just, I got to the point where I'm like, I've had the green screen behind me long enough. I'm just gonna remove it and put some things behind me instead. It's easier that way. But yeah, it's hard. Like anytime that I was trying to do like some kind of sketch thing, it was like, okay, and then of course if I have sunlight coming in my window, because I have a window right here, and even if the blinds are completely shut, it's not like it blacks it out. So it's like, yeah, trying to figure out lighting. And then of course, before, when my camera just went out, and seeing like, oh, which ISO do I use? Should I use this brightness, that bright? Like when it comes to the camera and stuff.
Low-key 3200, what a bitch.
What? It looks fine. I'm keeping the.
I'm just saying with I was just, I like that we have like, because I also have a Canon camera that I also have to like plug in, but it never does that. Usually what sometimes will happen, sometimes you guys will see my frame will just freeze, and I will have to turn it off and turn it on. But all the shit that was happening to you, I'm like, what is?
Yeah,
what
that was
setup
weird. Well, like I said, I think it's just like the plug was just a little loose, like when it came to it, so it just shut off the camera, and then of course it reset it back to 500 ISO, and it's like, yeah, it's really dark.
Mm-hmm.
So
speaking of weird, Ultraman, huffing kryptonite. What do we think about it?
Well, as long as we see it in James Gunn's movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but I mean, yeah, it was interesting. Like I said, when that scoop came out, and I was like, okay, cool, all right. I mean, fine. Like, I know some people were like comparing it. Well, it's like Lex Luthor created Doomsday to fight Superman, or like they're even comparing it to Superman Quest for Peace when he created Nuclear Man. And it's like, okay, we've kind of seen something like that before, and it's like, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, though. It's like, okay, so at this point, it's like, okay, if he's creating the clone of Ultraman, is it going to be a combination of like, what if it ends up turning into a Bizarro at one point? I don't know.
He hits him on the head too hard.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel ignorant because I am.
Okay.
I feel ignored. I'm like,
you're not.
Is okay. Catch me up here. So, Ultraman is supposedly going to be in James Gunn's Superman movie.
Yeah, the rumor was that. Well, the rumor, according to the scoopers, was Ultraman's the main villain. Which that didn't even. When I even read that, I was like, the main villain, really? I mean, which I'm like that. If anything, it's just going to be a tool that Lex Luthor would use, and apparently that would be the case. But yeah, the rumor was that Ultraman is a clone that's created by Lex Luthor in his story.
So, are we talking multiverse crime syndicate?
Clone.
Like a full-on,
like season 4 Kara clone with the minus Russian accent.
In my opinion, I'm just sort of venting out of this new information that I've received. Using Ultraman as a clone is so boring to me because Ultraman is Earth 3, part of the crime syndicate. Mm-hmm. That's way more interesting to have him from another Earth, like a Superman from another Earth. Maybe they don't want to do the multiverse, but I will have to be honest.
A dirty word now.
I just kind of feel like, if that's the way they play him, which who knows, but I don't know, that to me, that's just in initially hearing it. I'm like, that sounds kind of boring to use Ultraman in that way.
Definitely doesn't excite me.
When I saw this bit on thread, like when I saw James Gunn, like essentially not quite debunk it, but not quite confirm it, I had sent it off to Dave because I'm sure he'd either seen it or it would be the first point he had seen it. And I'm thinking to myself, the same thing he responded to me with was like, he didn't outright debunk it, but he didn't outright confirm it either. But it was one way or the other. And to me, I'm just like, I'm with Rebecca. I don't really like the idea of Ultraman being a clone. If you're going to like do a clone, go the clone route and have Lex Luthor essentially do the thing he's done for the third time in film, right? Like, make it Bizarro. Like, do something along those lines.
But here's the other thing too. Like a rogues gallery that Superman has. Like there are so many options. So many options. Now, again, I will judge when I see it. If it is true, I will reserve final judgment at that point. But just on the face value, it's like, how many times we're gonna ring the bell of evil Superman? Like or a bizarre. And I know we haven't seen Bizarro necessarily on the big screen, but again, how long we've been waiting for Brainiac on the screen? How long have we been wanting to see like Lex Luthor not be the, at this point really get him into the big suit and have him go after Superman at that point?
I prefer that at this point.
When he goes is working out there, he should use it.
It's just like, really, we're gonna do another evil Superman? Okay, I mean, I expected better.
But what if like this is like? I mean, I was kind of thinking about it today. I was like, well, what if this What if it's like in the first act? And he just takes him out in the first act. Like it's just right at the beginning, done. It's not like any kind of final battle. It's just something that Lex does, and then leads to something where maybe we get Lex in his suit or something at one point, and then there is a Brainiac presence. I still think there is a Brainiac presence, and that is that's keeping hush hush, because I think Gunn is well aware of like, we need a fucking Brainiac in these movies finally, because you know, how many times have they talked about Brainiac being in the movies, and he's only, you know, he's been in, of course, the shows, but never in the movies. So it's like, I think Gunn is well aware that, and I think there has to be some kind of Brainiac presence in this.
I think in that scenario you just painted, like, it's interesting if they did go that direction where Ultraman or the clone or whatever is like at the very beginning. Yeah. That would mean that relationship or disdain between Lex Luthor and Superman is already established, and I'm curious to see, like, if they go that direction, how people receive that, with us just being thrown into this world where they are already aware of each other and have battled with each other. Like, are they going to go that approach of just like, hey, here's the world, enjoy, or if they're going to actually like work into it? That'll be interesting.
Well, what if he clones him through technology made by Brainiac, and then it doesn't work, and that's how Brainiac comes into play? Because he says Lex Luthor is the main villain, but he's not saying that there aren't other villains. So, you know,
right.
But at the same, like, I would want Brainiac to be like a big bad, you know, because, you know, I mean, we've seen, you know, when you do him right, like, you know, like Smallville, and especially on Krypton, like, it's like you can do a lot of fucking good shit with it. So
yeah, well, I mean, even look at Justice League Unlimited when Lex and Brainiac were working together, and you got like Lex Brainiac. That was an outstanding storyline.
I think, Dave, I mean, your speculation is pretty good in terms of like Ultraman could be used in a certain way. I was wondering if the crime syndicate has ever dealt with the Authority. Could it be like a cameo?
That's some good shit right there. I kind of want to see it now.
Because I know
why
they're
not
working
this
on
movie, Rebecca? Why not? Why?
I have a lot of good ideas. Nobody ever takes them.
Look, I hadn't thought of what would happen if they met.
But even adding to your point, Rebecca, using the bad Superman or crime syndicate to get people that on the side of the Authority and turn against the heroes.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is they could be a foe for the Authority, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like if you use Ultraman and you don't bring in the crime syndicate, I'm going to be a little disappointed, because the crime syndicate is actually a really fun idea. So that it's almost like a toying with me to throw him out there just for the sake of having an evil Superman.
Yeah.
And I guess it depends on the kind of the story that Gunn is wanting to tell. Is he looking at a reflection of himself and seeing the monster he could become? Maybe that's what he's doing, but I think you could do more with it.
The rumor could have been half true. It could have been that he is cloned. He's doing a clone, but it's not Ultraman. Maybe the Scoopers just got it wrong that it's not Ultraman, and it's actually Bizarro.
It is Bizarro.
It could be. It could be like trying to mislead us from Bizarro.
I mean, go ahead.
To that end, I think if there's any benefit to this, it would be showcasing a range from the main actor himself of being able to play the good version of Superman and the equally bad version of Superman. Not to say that we haven't seen something like that before. It was like it was touched upon with Henry Cavill in certain respects, right? Like, we saw what an evil Superman could look like, but this would legitimately be like, you have David Corenswet playing, you know, the righteous Superman on one end, but then also playing the evil clone version of himself. If you know, this clone thing pans out to be true, and he plays the clone as well, you could see very much the deteriorating, the evil, the just outright devilish version of Superman that he fears the world could see him as. Like, it very much could be a benefit to that actor and something we haven't seen before from a Superman actor.
True, but it's funny because I'm thinking about the first Bizarro episode of Superman the animated series.
Actually.
I Scott has told me, I haven't got to that point. I've only seen season 1 of Superman and Lois, but I heard the Bizarro stuff in there was pretty good. But when it comes to that first episode of Superman the animated series, where it's just like it was what I liked about it was the fact that it's like you have Superman who's doing all this stuff and being like Superman and saluting and flying around and doing all this stuff. And then, of course, something happens with Lois and Clark where Clark is like, it's like, I just got saved by Superman, or the Superman's like here. And of course, it's just like that weird kind of like, what the hell is going on right now? And it was a cool moment, but at the same time, this was like season 2. This is already like well established of stuff right here. We're still getting introduced to this new universe, so you're already going to have the clone. You're already going to be doing stuff like that. It's like, I get it. Do something different, kind of. But at the same time, I'm like, man, we're already gonna be like getting to the point of like a Superman clone. Okay, we'll see.
If any of it is true.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that my mind doesn't go to Superman Legacy, because I actually liked the idea of like a Superman Legacy, because when I thought of that title, I thought of the Superman family and how you could make the film different by showcasing members of the Superman family. There's Krypto, there's Supergirl, you know, things like that. So if they, I'm assuming she's going to cameo in
cool.
Superman,
and not
but
clone too.
I sure hope not. There have been Supergirl clones and protoplasmic blobs, and yes.
Is that the one where she has the black suit when she's like Matrix Girl or whatever?
So the black suit is like dark Supergirl, and then the Matrix Supergirl is the protoplasmic blob that they, once Kara Zor-El was killed off during Crisis, they created this protoplasmic blob who then assumed Supergirl's visual and powers, but then I think she had the memory of Lana Lang, and she had a relationship with Lex Luthor, and then during the Peter David run, she merged with a satanic cult member, and it was a whole thing, really. So it's a very complicated story. But I like mistakes were the Peter David run though. It's bonkers, amazing though. It's incredibly bonkers. But it's
I love comics.
People should read it. It is incredible. But I was thinking about just like, you know, when y'all were mentioning like Bizarro and things like that would be so cool to have a movie that connected all these different aspects of Superman's Superman family, where you had Bizarro and you had these things. So I'm trying not to like have expectations for any of this, but just talking about that made me think of the legacy aspect of what
Rebecca's really trying to say is that I don't give two shits about it. I just want my Supergirl movie.
Look, Superman has to succeed, so I can get my live action comic Super first. Yeah,
you got to establish this first, and you know, and I totally agree with you, Rebecca. Is like. I know it's weird that we just call it Superman now. It's like Superman, you know, Superman Legacy was just like, it was something. And I'm hoping that even though they dropped the legacy, there's still going to be like a lot of legacy involved with it. Like, I still hope that James Gunn cast, you know, Tim Daly in a role, or, you know, Tom Welling. You know, I just hope that there's going to be like a legacy of actors that are going to be like involved with the project, like we've talked about before. But, yeah, I mean, the whole Bizarro thing. I mean, it's, I don't know. I have to see more, hear more. I mean, when he basically came out and talked about it, he said the primary protagonist of Superman is, shockingly, you know, Superman. Obviously, the protagonist.
Krypto? No.
Yeah, not Krypto. So not that little dog. That it's been not David.
Krypto would be awesome though.
Yeah, he might be in it though. You know, that's the thing. And then it said the main villain of Superman is, shockingly, Lex Luthor. I don't know where all the stuff is coming from.
Actually, the fans are the real villain.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, the Scoopers are.
Yeah, that too.
That's something other than this. There are so many stories coming out every day. It's difficult to deal with, and every time I strike something down, I'm giving it attention. So I'll say it again: don't believe anything unless you see it here. And why would you want to know everything before the movie comes out anyway? Yeah.
He needs to stop addressing the stupid stuff that keeps coming at him. He needs to stop.
Someone ask him about evil Krypto, though. I really want to know about evil Krypto now.
I just want him to say,
Phil, that's up your alley. Go do it.
He responded to me like twice. Yeah, okay, yeah. I can't guarantee he's going to respond to me again. I would absolutely love it if he game now. I would love it if he would just come out and confirm or deny if a Teen Titans movie is fucking happening, because that was reported by Hollywood Reporter like well over a week ago, and he hasn't said shit about that.
So that might be true then.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's one of those things where like I'll believe it when it happens.
Sure.
Yeah. Because it's still, even if it's in development, does not mean that it'll actually. How many times? I mean, Scott has a list of all the DC movies that have been announced in development that have not seen the light of day.
How many times have we gotten an announcement for a Green Lantern project?
Fuck. Jesus Christ, Nightwing.
That's what studios do. They put things in development. Doesn't mean it's happening. They're putting it out there.
Yeah, even like with the whole announcement of like what we were just talking about, like Dune Messiah, it's in development, sure, and I it will be made, but it's just because it's in development and they announce it now, we're probably not going to see it for at least another 5 years. Like Villeneuve is doing a whole other thing now. He's got all these other projects. He needs to take a break because he did 2 Dunes that were magnificent.
And he deserves a break.
He deserves a break and do something else. And they're not going to, they better not just hire somebody else to fucking do it. No, because he wrote it. He's writing it. He wrote the script. So obviously they're not going to do that. So we're not going to see that movie for another 5-6 years, probably. But we heard the announcement. Oh, it's in development. It's like, yeah, okay.
It's like, here's the thing for me is like, as soon as you see, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have seen Dune Part 2, but like the sequence of the sandworm, if you've seen, you know what I'm talking about. If you see that scene and think, oh yeah, we'll just have another director come on and do the third one. Hell no. You're out of your freaking mind.
That I still don't understand how that scene. I mean, there's many scenes in Dune Part 2 where I go, how did he fucking do this?
So real.
But I mean, like the sandworm scene is probably my favorite sequence, where it's just like the sound design, the sand, the everything. It's like, how did you freaking do this?
It's like Top Gun Maverick in the desert is what it is.
It's almost like, did you actually find a sandworm for somebody to actually ride and you to nail the camera to it? I mean, it just didn't make sense. I'm sitting, even the second time I saw it, I'm like, how the fuck did he do this? Like, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, apparently, I think I read that sequence took like 2-3 weeks to make, which makes sense because it's just so fucking good, you know? So
I keep saying to people that modern day blockbusters need to aspire to be at least somewhat similar to Dune 1 and Dune 2. Yes. Like, if you do something similar to that, boom, you're golden. Which, of course, is hard to do. But...
So you want a sandworm in every major blockbuster?
Yes. Gosh dang it, Phil. I want a sandworm in every blockbuster.
You know what? You know what, Dawson? That means that Beetlejuice is going to be a pure blockbuster.
That's right.
Sandworms in the first one.
Just thinking that same thing. Yep.
Now, what I really want is I want to see Tom Cruise doing a Tom Cruise run on top of a sandworm and jump and like attack Paul Atreides. That's what I want to see. That'd be awesome.
Sandworm confirmed for Mission Impossible Part 8.
Yes.
And then and then you get Dom coming out from Fast and Furious style, grabbing him at that point mid-flight.
Yes. I love it. See, we're writing a blockbuster right now. $3 billion right here.
Batman shows up and grapnels up the sand. Yeah. Robert Pattinson. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Why did you say
Neo
that
walks
name?
in it.
Neo walks in. One theme song starts playing for some reason, but she's not there.
Oh man, so many possibilities. But anyways, back to like I said, he debunked it, but not really. To me, it's like, other things he debunks, he goes just false. He'll just say like false, not true, blah blah blah. This one, he just went flat out. Okay, so this is happening. But at the same time, it's like so if there is like this kind of Ultraman clone kind of weird thing, I think it is touching something that is actually in the film, but he, instead of just flat out going false or whatever the hell, he just is kind of going like, all right, there is an element of something in here, but I don't want to say anything more because obviously whatever I say, it's going to be written in, 57 blogs by the end of the night and YouTube channels. Hi. And so it's like, it's like one of those things where it's like he didn't want to give too many details away. So I mean, it might not even be it might be Bizarro. And you know what's funny too is like I was thinking about it because I was talking with my friend about this. It was like, what if this, because scoopers get shit from random things all the time and they'll just put it out there because they know. Again, Marvel Studios has done this. They'll give shit to scoopers just to put it out there to hype stuff up. I mean, we all remember the John Campea stupid thing. That the fact that he got no repercussions just showed me that Marvel Studios handed those images of the 3 Spider-Men to put out there to hype it up, and it was like, oh, we didn't know
about Variety. What about Variety and all the shenanigans they've pulled on, like during red carpet stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's just in where we are now in 2024, and just trying to like build up hype and do all this kind of stuff. I mean, look at what they've been posting with David Corenswet's dog, and I mean, he's sitting on the chair, and all of a sudden you see something in the background that looks like Superman's cape. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No.
there's like the dog sitting there, and you see like it almost looks like a curtain, but it's red, and it's like, wait, is that Superman's cape right there? And then somebody asked James Gunn, and he just did the whole thinking emoji, and it's like, see, they're like, and then of course earlier than that, he was sitting on the director's chair that had the Superman color scheme on it, and it was like, oh, it's like it's teasing the costume. It's like I love the fact that it's like, yeah, don't reveal everything right away. Utilize the social media space and everything to build up hype as you're going along, because everybody forgets everything within 2 seconds when they're scrolling through TikTok, and you're not going to remember this stuff. So you have to keep building it up. I mean, that's one of the things, like when it comes to like even my channel, it's like every day I'm posting just like, hey, here's a clip, here's a clip, here's a clip, here's a clip, because that's what you have to do. You got to keep on like going like, hey, we're talking about stuff. And now it seems like the movies have to do that too. And I kind of believe that, and I do believe that when it comes to some of these scoops, these scoopers that get this information, they put it out there because the studio wants it to be out there. And maybe it's like, oh yeah, say it's Ultraman and show this or whatever the hell, but it's actually going to be Bizarro. It's going to be something different. And then it's not even going to be a significant to the overall story. It's going to be a piece to the overall story or something like that. It's Brainiac's running things in the background and blah, 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 or something like that. I don't know. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It's a theory. Cheers.
I mean, studios absolutely do that. They do it on both fronts, where they'll feed scoopers certain information to get conversations going, but they'll also make decisions that they know will spark controversy because they know it'll get people to talk about it, because the more people talk about it, the more people get curious about a movie, whether it be they're excited about it, whether they're going to hate watch it. They play these kind of mind games all the time. And like, it's both smart and to me kind of sickening at the same time, because it's manipulative. But I mean, if it works out for them in the box office, then more power to you.
I mean, sadly, it's like, because scoopers, it's just gotten to the point where scoopers just basically spoil shit now. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I mean, that's the sad part about it. It's like, oh yeah, that's why I hate the game. I hate that game of like talk, what they do, because it's just essentially just spoiling things for these movies. And I mean, it's been around for a bit, and now it's like, now studios have to figure out a way around that, because I mean, who knows? You don't know who to trust. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's like, who do you trust on these sets to not just like be, sending a text to somebody or whatever the hell, even though they signed an NDA. It's like, well, they figure out ways to just be like, just send a little message or here and there, or I don't know. It's a gross game, because like I said, it's just spoiling things for now. It's like, I don't mind the speculation and they should be teasing things, and then that gets us to discuss it and continue to discuss it. But when it's blatant, like, oh yeah, this is what's in it, this is what's happening, and I think Daniel RPK even was like, hey, he didn't deny it, and it wasn't really, it's a spoiler and it's blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, but you confirmed it. It's like, you as Cooper confirmed, like, is that true? Like,
that dude irritates the fuck out of me in the same way that Jeff Snyder, Grace Randolph, and all these just dipshits. That, and to your point, like, it's so much so, like, not so much like, teasing things, they're just outright spoiling shit. And it's like, you are not helping in any way, shape, or form when you do this, because the only reason you're doing this is for your little bit of internet clout, and that's pathetic and disgusting and gross. RPK even more so, because he does it behind a fucking paywall on Patreon.
Yep.
It's always funny too, because like I've actually defended RPK in the past. Now I'm just kind of to the point where I'm like, all right, I've actually like totally, I even unfollowed him on Twitter, because I'm like, dude, you're promoting Phantom. You're part of Phantom. Fuck you. All right. It's like 100%. That is like, just when I kept on seeing that, I was like, all right, I can't, because you're pushing that nonsense, and there's so much clickbait when it comes to Phantom that I was just like, all right, I can't defend this guy anymore, because I was like, out of all the scoopers, I was like, RPK probably is the one to believe the most. And then I just kind of went, all right, I'm not even gonna like believe him anymore or even take him anymore, because just mainly because of how he, he's like, I think he's an owner of Phantom Wire. I don't know what the whole idea of all that is, but yeah, it's just the whole paywall thing. And it's kind of funny too, because even when he puts things behind a paywall, it all gets leaked onto.
That's the point. Like, why are you paying for something that's going to be leaked anyways? Because you're in the know. What do you?
It's basically like, hey, let me take your money so I can give you this information so you can put it on the internet, so I don't technically have to, but people are going to come back and say it's for me anyway, so they come and flock to me. It's a gross cycle is what it is. It's disgusting. Absolutely gross. And then you've got Jeff Snyder, who had his most recent scoop debunked of like Sydney Sweeney and Johnny Depp being in a movie, and he has like another massive Twitter meltdown, and I'm just like, you dumb motherfucker.
That guy, I mean, that guy has, his ego is so high, my God. And it's funny too, because he still has that same profile picture, right, of himself on Twitter, I think. And I'm like, dude, you look nothing like that anymore. You've aged.
Oh, he has.
I'm like, dude, I mean, I get it. You're gonna keep that profile picture, but when people actually see what you look like now, it seems like you've been kind of stressed a little bit. I don't know, which is great, but he makes it seem like, oh yeah, I'm on top of the world. What are you talking about? It's like, no.
If I got fired from every trade like that, then yeah, I'd probably be stressing too of how I was going to put food on my table.
He's arrogant. I mean, I've seen so many people I've seen on Twitter talk about that they've worked with him and just talked about how like arrogant and just how much of a dick that guy is. And it's like, yeah, he is. He's got, I mean, little dick energy. That's what it is. That's what it is. 100%.
That makes me think of another scoop that didn't get at all picked up by another LDE scooper. The Avengers 5 is apparently going to be World War Hulk. Yeah, that went fucking everywhere.
What the hell? No.
Oh, man. That would make me laugh.
We'll refer back to studios develop a lot. Doesn't mean it happens.
Yes. And we've heard about the whole World War Hulk kind of thing, like always like talked about. And if that's, that's dumb. That would, I mean, obviously they have to do something with when it comes to King Dynasty. I don't know what the hell that's all going to be, how they're going to retool that.
Wars Part 1 and 2. I think that's all they're going to do.
That's what they should do, to be honest. At this point, yeah. After
we still
all,
don't even know who the Avengers are, and by the end of this year, we're still not going to know who the Avengers are.
Right. See, that's the bad part.
It's like the next movie is going to be them like actually figuring out who the next team is, or they're just going to simply like work together and it's just be like, oh yeah, it's the Avengers, like, but they don't organize themselves. That's what made the first movie so interesting. Is they actually formed a team, like made the effort to form it.
That's why we're getting Thunderbolts in May.
That was the biggest mistake Marvel made, is ending a phase without an Avengers movie.
I agree wholeheartedly.
One of the biggest mistakes they made.
Yeah, they I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and we're in the when it comes to the superhero genre, we're in this era of not only is DC trying to figure it out, Marvel Studios, the head honcho for the past decade, is going, what are we doing here? And then they have pieces, but their pieces are all over the place. Luckily, they have Deadpool as their like ace in the pocket. That's just going to be fucking insane. And that's going to be big for sure. But when it comes to Avengers, I'm still going, I mean, there's an Easter egg in the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer where they have the Secret Wars comic book, like sitting on the ground next to Wade. So it's like, okay, well, at least you got that, but you still got to somehow get to that point. And yeah, I mean, there's always the rumors of, Hugh Jackman's going to be in that. Tobey Maguire's going to be in that as well. They're going to bring back, it's going to be insane. But it's like, you can't just go on cameos or can't just go on bringing back people. You still have to build that team. You have to capture that essence that you had with the previous stuff. And that's the bad part, is like, you don't have your Iron Man or your Captain America. You don't have those players anymore. They're gone. That's why, that's why I've always been one of those people that said, like, when it comes to the X-Men getting involved in the MCU, just do a nice little soft reboot. Do a reboot. Get Tony Stark back in there. I want Tony Stark interacting with Reed Richards and, Professor Xavier. I want it all. I want all that. Let's just have a full-on universe that has mutants, that has Fantastic Four. Let's have all that. And it just seems like Marvel is just going like, no, we're going to do our best to inject these characters. I mean, they didn't even have Spider-Man at the beginning, and then they had to fit him in eventually. But it's like, all right, well, why don't you just start fresh? Start fresh with everyone, and then you can actually do an authentic Civil War movie, maybe, where it's like, hey, there are actual like bigger stakes in that story as opposed to the Civil War that we got. That was just essentially still just a Bucky and Steve movie.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say like the whole like Robert Downey Jr. thing. My mom, I swear, she sent me the same fake trailer 5 times that like teases Robert Downey Jr. returning. She's like, "Is this real?" I was like, "Mom, I've told you 3 or 4 times this is not real." But my main question when it comes to the Deadpool movie is like, obviously that's going to make money. Whether it makes $1 billion, I don't know. Given the state we're in with comic book films, I think it might get the closest out of all the ones we've seen recently. But my question about it is that it's going to make money and it's going to be hyped. But my question is, are people going to see that as an outlier, or are people going to have their faith restored in the MCU because of that movie? That's my main question.
Your question will be answered when we get to after Deadpool. Like, what is the next project after?
I'm very curious to see what happens there.
And if that's going to be Captain America: Brave New World, which my thing is, that's where we're going to finally start getting answers on who the Avengers are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a good question. It is a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Brave New World ended with like Anthony Mackie in a round table, like at a new Avengers compound, and that's when we see who he's handpicked to be a part of the new Avengers, like more or less. Yeah. Wouldn't be shocked at all if it was like Captain Marvel, Bruce Banner. Wow, I almost said T'Challa. I feel really bad now. Shuri, right? Like,
yeah,
like it's going to be a combo of people, I'd imagine, and that's kind of going to lay the foundation. And they get wind of like the Thunderbolts and what they're going to be doing, and that kind of leads into that. Because
just watch them end that sequence with Kamala Khan walking and be like, "Hey guys," and being all excited, and then she's an Avenger.
That will be so. That will, I will fucking take it.
I'd laugh.
You know what? She's likable. She's likable.
She is.
Like, that's the thing. It's
she's
like
she's one of the best part of the MCU right now. No,
I mean, I enjoyed Miss Marvel like crazy, and even when it came to the Marvels, I didn't enjoy it that much, but she, to me, it's like she shined more than, I don't know. I mean, it was a little overdone with her fangirling and stuff like that, but but at the same time, I'm like, I still think she was the most likable one of the 3 when I watched the Marvels. I'm like, I just really like her. Like, she's just very likable, and I enjoyed so I hope she's involved in something else where she can have her a shining moment again, because I think she had a shining moment when it came to her series and how they handled that. When it came to the Marvels, that was just a mess of just. It was, I don't know. It was just a mess. It was just
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. I know. And then and it's funny too, because like when I was watching baseball and on the MLB app, there was every commercial break had the Marvels is on Hulu Plus and Disney and stuff like that. I was like, I kept on seeing it. I kept going
Plus,
huh?
What is Hulu Plus?
Sorry, I comboed.
I thought it was like a new service.
No. Why would he do that? It's like yeah.
May as well be.
But at the same time, I'm just going like, man, remember when we first saw Sam Jackson as Nick Fury, and now I see him holding up a cat. Huh.
Oh my God! Let him be multi-layered for fuck's sake, Jesus Christ!
I know, but it's just like.
It's not a cat. It's a flurkin for the last time. It's not a cat.
But I remember that whole cat sequence in the Marvels, and I was like, oh God, it was not good. It just wasn't good. I didn't like it. Ugh. Anyways, but you know what will be good, hopefully? And Rebecca, Supergirl, what are we thinking about this director that possibly might be, I mean, depending on which trade you look at, either got the job or is in talks with the job?
I didn't know much about him, so I looked him up. And then so today I watched I, Tonya, and I've started watching Cruella. So I'm kind of halfway through Cruella. So I'm actually glad they got a filmmaker.
There it is.
I know there was some rumors or speculation that they might get a director from the Loki TV series, which would have been fine. I thought the Loki TV series was good. I've only seen season 1, but I thought it was good. But I always wanted a filmmaker, because films and TV are two totally different animals in terms of directing, and so to have somebody who has a visual style to him, and his work, I think was really good, and especially with those two movies, I'm hoping to like expand and do research on all of his filmography. But I, Tonya and Cruella both obviously have female leads. They are telling stories from their perspective, which I think is really helpful. And one thing I noticed that was interesting in terms of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is both of those movies also have a lot of voiceover. I, Tonya has a lot of interviews, but it also has like
a lot of
breaking the fourth wall and talking to the camera. And then Cruella, it drove me a little bit crazy though, because like some of those voiceovers were completely unnecessary. Like they would show a shot of young Cruella running, and in the voiceover you hear a adult Cruella be like, "And I ran," and I'm like, "Yes, we see you running. Like you don't have to tell us you're running. We see you running." But Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, if he wanted to play with that, it is written as a narrative. It's structured with Ruthie's narration throughout the story. I don't want to ruin the ending for people in terms of the narration of the story, because that becomes very important at the very end. But that's kind of a similar style. But I was just really relieved that he's a filmmaker. He has a distinct style to him, and I think he's made some good films. So that is a kind of a relief. So I hope he does take that position, because I think I could see him doing some really cool stuff.
What's funny about that book, just to interject really quick, is like, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I feel it's really funny that so many people misinterpreted the ending of that book.
Me included. But
you've talked about that. You've talked about that.
But talking about it on Supergirl Radio with my friend Morgan, she caught it and I didn't, so she sort of clued me in on it. But a lot of people, let's say, take it literally, and I think that is, maybe think about it in another way when you get to the end.
100%.
And he recently, I haven't seen it yet, but the recent movie that he made was Dumb Money, which was about the whole like the whole GameStop stock that like went crazy, and it's got a stellar cast. That's I saw
Paul Dano in that.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I watched it. It's pretty good.
And Shailene Woodley.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
But when like looking at the filmography, like I said, I mean. He's got. I mean, I haven't seen Cruella because I just, when it comes to the live action, I've heard good things, but yeah, when it comes to live action Disney stuff, I just kind of go, I'll see it when I see it. But I really, really, really liked I, Tonya, and I thought that Margot Robbie, that if you want to talk about her getting nominated for or at least winning an Academy Award, I'm like, yeah, that would have been one of them, because I'm like, she was amazing in that. Fright Night, the Fright Night remake. Now, remakes can be touchy. I really enjoyed the Fright Night remake, and I was like, oh, he did that one, and I'm like, okay, because obviously you got the original one in the 80s, and it's one of those iconic 80s horror movies. Sure, I get it, and I was like, okay, well, let's see what the remake's like, and it's an enjoyable watch. Colin Farrell. Anton, what's his name? The dude who passed. Like, remember that he got that freak accident? He died.
Antoine Yelkin.
Antoine Yelkin. There we go. It's a good movie. It's just a fun like. I've watched it a lot of times. If it's like on it, or if I just see it, if I'm scrolling through, I'm like, oh yeah, Fright Night. Let me put that on. I don't know. It's just an enjoyable remake. I thought he did a fantastic job with that. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, he did that one. And then he did Lars and the Real Girl. I don't know if you guys seen that one. Ryan Gosling, about like he has like a doll who's like his girl. It's very artsy, very interesting. Did you see that one, Rebecca?
No, but I think I was thinking of another movie that was something about a doll. I saw a trailer for it. It really freaked me out. So I don't think it's that one. I think I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. But I mean, he's made like these, very character-driven movies.
I was going to say that I, Tanya, and at least the little bit of Krill that I'm like halfway through, that was one of the things that I picked up on too. That the character work in I, Tanya was especially good. Because I lived through the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding thing. I remember that fully.
Me too.
And when she talks about in the interview, one of the interviews in the I, Tanya movie, she's like, "And you all turned on me," and I was like, "We did, guilty." And what I thought was remarkable about that is, I felt so bad for Tanya Harding by the end of that movie, and just really, or at least that version of Tanya Harding, the fictional depiction.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not like that in real life. I don't know.
True.
But the fictional storytelling, the narrative, I was so on her side for all of it, and just I remember, and you talk about acting for Margot Robbie. Forget Barbie. Throw that garbage out the window.
Oh yeah, I, Tanya.
Tanya was the performance.
That was her.
She's in front of that Tanya Harding in front of the judge, who tells her that she can no longer skate. And oh my gosh, I was like, they were ripping like my heart was metaphorically ripped out of my chest, because I felt so bad for her. This girl worked her whole life to do this. She was actually a great skater, and her husband beats her. Her mom stabs her and is verbally abusive, and she goes through all of this crap, and then she cannot do the thing that she's trained her whole life for. And Margot Robbie just crushed it. And I think there's also something to be said about directing, is that yes, Margot Robbie, excellent actress, but a good director can really pull a performance out of somebody. And so seeing Margot Robbie do that made me hopeful that he is a good actor director, where he can really get performances out of actors that maybe that they didn't think they could do. So the character work in I, Tanya is pretty spectacular.
It's excellent. And yeah, I know. And of course, naturally, because we are in 2024, a lot of people are like, it's a dude. And everybody was thinking there's going to be like a female director. But at the same time, it's like, I think we're just kind of getting to that point where it's like, look at like what we're talking about here is like, what can this director do? I mean, obviously we don't have full on confirmation that he has the gig yet. I mean, THR said he has it. Deadline says he's in talks. So we don't even know fully if it's there, but there is something that is had, and I'm sure people have sent that to James Gunn and he hasn't said anything about it. So I'm sure that something's in the case, but it's just, again, it's like, who cares? Who cares what the director looks like? It's all about what you said, Rebecca, pulling the performance out. And if you want to really take the superhero genre to a different level, which I think, I'm hoping that James Gunn leads that, where it's like, okay, I'm going to take it to a different level that we haven't seen it, where we have this Superman in this world that already has characters and all this kind of stuff. And and it's going to take it to a different genre. And then Supergirl is going to like take it even further, because we're going to have this crazy story that's out in the cosmos about Supergirl that I mean, it was funny too, because I had somebody in my mentions that goes, oh, it's probably just going to be like the 1984 film. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, do you think they just going to lie and just resort back to what happened?
Go off, Rebecca, go off.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's a totally different era of comics. Supergirl, the movie, is based in the Silver Age version of Supergirl. The Linda Lee, Midvale, all of that stuff is very Silver Age Supergirl, kind of at the beginning and in that section of her comics. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow it has some Silver Age things, like her origin story and things like that, but there's Peter David stuff thrown in there. There's Comet the Super Horse. There's all these things that are so removed from, well, Comet he's introduced in the Silver Age, but some of that is so removed. And I just, it's two totally different things. I don't think people are really prepared for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
And that's what excites me about this.
Yeah.
And, is like the fact that this could be bigger than Superman. I mean, for all we know, it could be Superman could pave the way of like it could be successful and be like, wow, okay, this was a Superman that was different and already had these characters, and it wasn't like an origin story, and people are like, oh, like shit, and then all of a sudden and then the next one's Supergirl, and everybody goes, what the fuck, like that, like holy shit, like this is like I really and like how you were saying that Craig Gillespie, that's what his name is, Craig Gillespie,
right?
How he made you, and he made me, even when I watch I, Tonya, made you feel sorry for Tonya Harding, who was the most hated woman in the early 90s. He made you feel sorry. I mean, for a director to do that and to pull the performance out of the main to do that, I mean, you're going to have a Supergirl that's not going to be like this squeaky clean, Supergirl, but it's like you have to still win over the audience, even if she's not squeaky clean. And I'm like, maybe he's the man to do it. He might be.
And Supergirl One of Tomorrow is a crazy story. It's a space western, flying telepathic horses, super dogs, all kinds of angel wings, fire angel wings, red kryptonite pills, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Dinosaurs.
There's a dinosaur pond in there. Yeah. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff. But what at the heart of it is this relationship between Supergirl and this young woman who wants revenge for the death of her father. And it's a very emotional story because Supergirl can connect to that because, she's lost her entire world. So I think seeing some of these movies from Craig Gillespie and knowing that he can find that emotional story, that gives me a lot of hope that he would be able to find his way into that because of that emotional part of the narrative. So I hope he takes it now that I've like dug into his filmography a little bit. Now I'm really actually kind of excited.
Well, even in this thing, we say like we would love to have a woman direct Supergirl. I mean, great, fine. If the right director is there, great. Who wrote Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow?
Tom King.
It's not saying that a man can't write a great story about a woman. It's not saying that a woman can't write a great story about a man. Look at Gail Simone. Simone.
See, that's the thing. It's like you can mix it up. I mean, look who wrote the script. A woman has wrote this script. She's adapted the script. So we still have, and I even said that on Film Junkie. That was like, hey, well, they can mix it up. I mean, one or the other. If like there's a, one of the projects that has a male lead, have a woman direct that, and let it happen. If it's all about. I just really hope that taking the approach of like, we're not trying to look at so much optics. It's like, okay, we're bringing you in. We see your track record. Look at the script. What are your notes? Give us some notes. Talk to the writer. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, obviously it's a different kind of approach of like, a lot of people are making a stink about this was the fact that, they're already writing the script and they already cast Mealy Alcock as Supergirl. So they already had all that established before they had a director. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I mean, that's not happened before. I mean, that happened with Zach when it came to BVS.
Happens a lot of times.
Yeah. He already had Gal cast. He already had kind of a backstory, a little story for Wonder Woman already before Patty came in and just like did her own thing. But the reason why that worked was because it was like, okay, she came in, her and Zach talked. It was like, oh yeah, I already had this like backstory, but it's pretty dark. It's my style. It's just a filler. That was just me going off. And he's even said that. I think he's even said that when we've talked to him. Is the fact that it's just like, yeah, it was just something. It was like, yeah, I was like, all right, it's a Crimean War. She's a fucking, has heads and shit like that. We did this whole thing. I made it dark. I was like R-rated, filthy dark. That's just my fucking thing. But you do your thing. What do you want to do? What do you think we should do? And she was like, well, let's do it right here. Let's do it like this. And it worked. And it's not so much, and who cares like exactly what gender, what they look like or anything like that. If there's something that works and it gels, go forward with it because that's only going to reach success. Yeah.
I don't want to speak for my entire gender, but
but go ahead.
But I will, I guess. I find it a little, I don't know if patronizing is the word or not, to say, oh, we have to have a female director here.
Yes.
Because if it was me and I was like, man, I want to direct Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I don't want to be put in that position just because I'm a woman. I want to be put in that position because I'm good. Yeah. I'm a good director.
It's all about
for the job. Because you're the person for the job.
Right. Yeah. So because that has happened to me in real life where someone has said, you know, I hired you because you checked these boxes. And I was like, that makes me feel kind of crappy. I'm going to be honest about that. Like, that makes me feel like garbage. Like, you didn't think I was good, but I checked off some boxes.
Yeah, no, you don't want to be patronized. Like, absolutely not.
No.
So
that's not a good thing. No.
No, it is not a great feeling. I'll just tell you that. So I don't care that Craig Gillespie is a guy. He makes good films. And Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, I have high expectations for her. So let's get the best guy for the job. So I think
amen.
For me, it's totally fine. I'm like, he's a guy directing. He's a good director. That's the more important part.
You're looking at you're looking at his filmography. You're looking at his resume. I mean, that's
right. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. God. Yeah, that's good. I mean, and I think people are kind of like coming around to that. And that's why it's like I didn't see that much pushback when it came to him, because I thought it was like, oh boy, this, and of course there's pushback. There's going to be that. You could, look under the comments of the postings. They're like, oh, how dare they, and blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, a lot of people were just, but at the same time, it was just kind of like, I mean, I when it comes to at least that side of YouTube that always talks about everything being so woke. I mean, we'll get into the whole Silver Surfer thing in a little bit here, but at the same time, it's like, all right, are you guys not going to comment that Supergirl might be directed by this dude? I mean, that's kind of like they're not looking at the whole. They're not trying to be woke, and are you just going to ignore it because it's not going to give you?
Well, that side of YouTube, they don't have brains. So what do you?
It's almost like oh, you're kind of exposing yourself of doing the whole grift thing, because if you're not going to mention like, hey, this is good, this is what you guys complain about, is like the fact that, well, I mean, obviously we have to get full on confirmation first, and hopefully when it does, it's like, okay, can you guys actually comment about this? The fact that it's like, hey, they didn't go for like, oh, we have to not have any male directors. It has to be a female director.
But again, who is also writing the script?
True.
I'm just saying, if we're worried about female representation and making sure.
Also, we have a woman writing a Teen movie. She's writing Teen Titans.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, she's the same one, right? Same woman.
Supposedly, yeah.
No, it's her doppelganger from another Earth. So that's
well, it's Ultra.
It's Ultra Woman. Ultra
Woman.
Yeah,
Ultra. What's her name?
Superwoman, technically, in this crime syndicate.
Yeah.
Craig Gillespie has a track record now of making great films with female leads.
Yes.
So if you're going to make it all about the female aspect of it, that's got to come into consideration too. It's not just that he's a guy. He's made really great films with female leads.
I think when it comes to, I mean, I remember when like Ray Fisher talking about when it came to Zach and just talking with him. I mean, obviously, being a black character, and then just like, okay, so let's like sit down and talk. Or what did Ray say? He said something where it's like, anytime where we have this kind of like thing where it's like, okay, white guy talking about, the black community or talking about gender roles and stuff like that. It's like, obviously people like on social media just immediately go, oh, how dare they even do that? But it's at the same time, it's like you hear these actors or whatever just talk about like, well, yeah, we sat down and just kind of like, he was like, all right, he had like a notepad and paper. It's like, hey, let's talk about this. Give me your, I want to take notes from you, and then we're going to figure something out where we can get to a point where it's like we make something good that represents this. It's all about collaboration. That's the thing. It's like, who cares what anybody looks like? It's just about the collaboration. And
I think we can also acknowledge at the same time. I agree with Patrick is saying in the comment that the female director pool is it is lacking. So I think I don't think you should just give jobs just because you're this or that. But like I think, for example, I think more female directors should be given, because that's the thing. We don't even know if they'd even go to a female director or like that's the thing. Since James hasn't said anything, we don't know. Like we don't know if it was just But that's the thing. Those are the things that we don't hear, and then that's why we get the assumptions that we have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe even a female director might have been offered it and passed it up because it just wasn't their thing.
Yeah,
you've been that too.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, that director that you were talking about earlier about who did Loki episodes. Maybe it was just like to the point where it's like, nah, that's too much. That was too much. Can't handle that, or maybe it just didn't gel. I don't know. There's just like the whole process. It's an interesting process when you're trying to figure out, especially when you have, and that's why I always thought like, what always intrigued me about filmmakers who also wrote their own scripts, it was like, yeah, that makes sense, because I'm like, other than that, you have to have a writer and a director gel with each other to give the best product, and they have to like be like, oh wow, we have to like, you wrote this, see what you're doing, but obviously that writer is going to have a vision in their head when they're writing it, and then you're going to pass it along to somebody else who's going to put it on the big screen, and it might not be what you thought it was going to be, and it's never going to be 100%, but there's got to be this kind of like melding of minds that brings this script that this writer was trying to, that got the green light, that got like everybody going like, oh shit, this is something good right here, to get it to this point of like, okay, we have to, this movie's got to be something pretty damn fantastic. That's why it's like, anytime that I see the director as a part of the writing process, it's like, I understand that, because it's like, they have to be in that, I guess, that headspace of where these the other writer or the other writers are in there. So then they can just bring what they're putting on the page to the big screen. So it is a little iffy, because it's like, all right, we already have like a writer that has this, and we already have, not only do we have the writer, we also have the source material, that everybody knows about. So you're translating that to a script, and then translating that script to the big screen. Not an easy task.
Yeah, and speaking of the writing, I hope that they are not, because it sort of sounded like to me early on, James Gunn was like, the writing is going to take precedence here, and we're going to put more of an emphasis on that. And I just hope that they don't constraint or hold the directors back. Like I hope that directors are still able to have their own creative vision and bring their own perspective to these projects. So I hope that they, if he has ideas about things, I hope they don't, be like, no, you cannot do that. It is not in the script. You cannot do that.
Follow this, you robot.
So I hope they still allow him, some creative freedom in that.
I get that. Yeah, me too. I hope so too. But Dawson, I know you got to take off. You got to dip out.
Yeah, it's getting late for me here on the East Coast, and I got an event tomorrow that I'm going to be at 9 a.m. So it'll be a fun time. But as always, I appreciate the invite, man. It's always good to chat with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoy.
Thank you. And like I said, follow Dawson for his little sketches on the sticky notes. I really enjoyed those, man.
Yeah. Oh, I can actually show you real quick. I finished the pencils for that piece I was working on.
Oh yeah, show that.
I went and scanned it. That's what I was doing with moving everything around. There we go.
Nice. Look at that.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Went and added the "Who watches the Watchmen" Latin quote in the background. I'll
I like it.
Of course, clean that up in digital and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get a certain artist that I follow to throw some digital inks on this bad boy. But we'll see. But yeah. Anyway,
sweet, man. Well, I appreciate it, Dawson.
Always want to join you guys.
Yeah, have a good day tomorrow.
Same to you.
See you Wednesday.
Take it easy. You too. Oh. No, but when he was announced, and like I said, it's always so weird when it comes to the trades. It's like you have one trade say in talks, and one trade said he's got the gig. It's like, which one is it? And then of course, and then all eyes on James Gunn. It's like, I mean, James Gunn, I mean, that's the thing. That's what he's got to do. He's got, I mean, but who knows? He's not going to announce it until like it's ready to be announced. And God knows if like if they already chose him long before, like they might have chose him before they even cast Amelia Alcock. I mean, for all we know.
True.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people were like making a big stink of like, oh yeah, they already cast, but they don't have a director. It's like, but how do we know that they already didn't have this director and they're already well into the pre-production process? But
it's all when they're ready for deals to get done. You know, you see all these people saying the movie has started filming, then you get all these castings all of a sudden. They didn't just cast them and they show up on the set. They've been in the works for a long time.
Dude, I always love that when like a movie has already been wrapped and then 2 weeks later you go, so-and-so has been cast in the movie, and then people go, I thought it just got finished wrapping. I'm like, you realize they don't release this stuff. You know, it's like you have to realize they don't. I know. It's always funny when like you see that, when you see like so-and-so has been cast and then you're like, wait a minute, 2 weeks ago they said they wrapped filming. It's like, yeah, because sometimes things don't get leaked out to the trades, and we don't find out about that. But it's always funny because they always say it like it just happened, you know. Like it's just like so and so has been cast. It's like, well, no, they were cast a while ago. We're just now finding out about it. So this might be one of those situations where Craig Gillespie might be already like just full on, just ready to go. He was there with James Gunn going, yep, I agree with you. Amelia Alcock. That's who I think should be right there. And I'm hoping that's the case because that just will add more to it, to the fact that he was there for the choosing of who's playing Supergirl. But who's playing Ruth?
That's a question, right?
We do not know. I don't think so yet.
See, that's the thing. That's going to be crucial.
He would need to cast her.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, again, I still have not read it, and I know.
I need to send you something this week.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. You said something about that.
Something will be going in the mail this weekend.
I appreciate that, but at the same time, just from what I know, and I'm like, oh, there's got to be, that's crucial casting right there. You can't just, they're going to be looking at many actresses for that role to find the perfect. And then of course she has to, chemistry with, man, I tell you what, these projects, I can't even imagine, like, especially when there's a lot riding on it, because there is a lot riding on these movies when it comes to the new DCU. It's like, hey, this has to be successful or we're fucked.
Right.
Ruthie might be a tough one to cast because
I'm sure
she speaks in such a, she's a young girl. She might be like an early teenager. They don't really give a specific age, I don't think. But she has she almost tries to talk a little more
adult,
older than she is. She has a very specific way of speaking. And I think, and it's kind of, she's a space kid, she's she that's part of her culture that they sort of speak like that.
I think in the book she's supposed to be like 14 to 15, maybe 16, something like that.
Yeah, so I think she sort of, in my mind, she sort of like portrays herself as older than she is because she wants to be older because she's trying to seek revenge. But it's not like she doesn't just kind of speak in our everyday colloquial sort of slang that we have. She has a very specific way of speaking. And so whoever they cast as that actress has to make that believable. So I'm kind of excited to see who that might be. So that you really only have to cast about 3 or 4 people for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And then everybody else is just.
Now, hold on. The audition for the. Why are you laughing?
I don't know, because it's just the way you just chimed in right there.
It could be something really serious.
I'm sure, but it just made me laugh right now, Andy. Well, I can laugh because it was just funny.
Of course, you can laugh. It's your show, but I'm just saying I could have maybe making a serious point when they do the audition for the horse. Now, what are we? does Millie need to be there? Or are we gonna have a stand-in? Like, what
there's gotta be a chemistry read with the horse.
Yeah.
Because there is a hint of a romance with Comet the Super Horse in the past.
Yep.
So you have to, I mean, you have to do a chemistry read with the horse for sure. Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's like Supergirl, Ruthie, Comet, and Krim are kind of the big characters there. So
yep.
So yeah, it's kind of a small cast, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I think that benefits it. I think that benefits. I mean, there's going to be a lot of CGI and stuff, but I think like having a smaller cast, and I think that's going to probably. I mean, they could obviously Superman. I don't know what the budget is. I mean, obviously they got to keep it pretty. They got to keep it pretty tight. Because Warner Brothers is like, yeah, we can't, they're watching every penny and everything like that. But Superman's just gonna, for some reason, I'm just thinking like Supergirl. Supergirl is going to be a lesser budget, and I think having just like a smaller cast and where everything, obviously, you're talking about Comet, the horse. That's all obviously CGI. But I mean,
there will be a lot of CGI. Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of CGI, but I mean, hopefully. Obviously they don't take away from the CGI from that, and everything just looks. I don't know. It's. I'm just like, especially when I went back and forth to that guy on my Twitter, where it's like, oh, it's just gonna be like the '84 film. I'm like, really? Did you not hear how what this was gonna be? And I'm like, just going. You just made me look forward to this movie so much more, because even though I have not read the book, but I know details of the book, I'm like, this is going to be something so unique when it comes to the superhero genre, and it's something that's needed.
And just visually, it's so different from Supergirl.
Just the planets we're going to get to go to.
Yeah. The colors and the vastness of the story, they hop around different planets. And I should clarify for people if they don't know, Comet the Super Horse, yes, he is sometimes a horse, but he is also sometimes a man. So he's like a horse man. So Supergirl is not having a romance with just a horse. She had a romance with a man who sometimes turns into a horse. Just want to clarify for the uninitiated.
Oh, jokes. There's jokes there. Anyways, not gonna go there. I'm resisting. But anyways.
As a matter of fact, no, never mind.
Yeah, I'm like, I hung like a horse. Anyways, okay.
Oh, no.
I had to say that. Okay. Anyways. Shifting to a different universe when it comes to like a lot of this stuff. Silver Surfer. Oh, how are we feeling about that? Female Julia Garner.
Yeah, please point to me where Silver Surfer has to be a man.
But at the same time,
they can cast them together. Shell the fuck down, everyone.
But there's both. That's the thing. See, okay, so my whole thing, and when I was talking about this news, I was like, it would be hilarious if Marvel Studios, they announced this, and they announced the actress, and then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month from now, whatever the hell, go, oh, by the way, we have the male Silver Surfer, and it's so-and-so. Oh, yeah. So everybody who got all huffy puffy, we have both in here. We have both Silver Surfers in here from what was created in the books, and they play pivotal roles. And to me, that would be smart, because obviously when it came to this announcement, we have that section of YouTube that got all huffy puffy about it. But then all of a sudden
Marvel's
you go like,
gone woke again.
Yes, but then all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, but we got both. But we got both. What?
Like, did sections of the internet really cry woke on this?
Of course they did.
Oh my god!
We had in our live chat last night on Marvel Alliance. We had one of our listeners say like there were about 6 or 7 videos talking about the MCU strikes again in the woke crowd.
Why am I not shocked that is coming from the same nonsensical people who have been shouting this shit since 2021?
Yeah. And again, it's like okay, if they're shoving it in your face, sure, I understand it, but at the same time, there is an actual female Silver Surfer in the books, and then I'm just going like, Marvel, please, if you want to play the internet game, because obviously when that got announced, it was trending. People were talking about it. And then you go, hey, guess what? Yeah, there is.
Well, there was one actor who had come out and said something on Instagram where he was like, oh, I thought it was going to be me, but I guess not.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, so maybe they did have auditions with both characters.
I think they are. I think they will. And I really hope they do, because that would totally just rock the internet. And I'm sure like the people who are complaining about it probably wouldn't say shit. They probably just do the whole like, Bird Box blinders, like, they were just definitely. Like, up, we're not looking at this, because again, I don't remember them even talking about the fact that a guy is directing Supergirl. They didn't. Is there any mention of that? Have you seen anything with that? No, they only want to grift on the stuff that is like, oh, it's woke. But all of a sudden it's like we hear about DC Supergirl and a guy is going to directing it. Nothing. Crickets. So Marvel Studios should really play into that, and just like in a couple of weeks from now, be like, oh yeah, by the way, we have both Silver Surfers in there. And I guarantee you they'll be like, nope, we're not looking at that. What else can we do? And that's the thing. It's like play into that, because you already started a fucking, it already trended. You already started a discourse. So then if you announce that, it would just again, you have to use the internet to hype up these movies now. You really do nowadays, and that's a way to do it, sadly, Well,
we were talking about this last night on our show and saying that, okay, so we got Silver Surfer, so a lot of us, and I think Justin Kroll said basically, okay, we can basically now think that Galactus is going to be the main villain.
Of course.
So if we're looking at the idea, here's the theory we were putting out last night, that what if Galactus is not a planet killer, but a universe killer? And this version of Silver Surfer, the deal that was made saying, you don't destroy my universe, but I find other universes that are doomed at that point for you to assume. And this is where we get our kind of multiversal kind of idea of how you could get the Fantastic Four out of wherever they're at and somehow end up in the, the MCU version.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And what's funny too is like one of the things that I was like thinking about when it came to the Silver Surfer is like, obviously the only other time we saw him was in, Fantastic Four and the Rise of the Silver. Was it the Rise of the Silver Surfer?
Rise of Silver Surfer. Yes.
Why did everybody use Rise? Rise. It's always Rise. Anyways, as much as like that movie was like, okay, but I don't know, like some of his scenes were so freaking good. And to have that character be voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, man, good. It was good. There was like scenes in there where I'm like I remember just watching going, okay, yeah, some of the other stuff's cheesy, the whole wedding thing. And then of course, where they like mix and match their powers and all that stuff was kind of, whatever. But the Silver Surfer stuff, man, I tell you what, like some of that stuff was like really like, I think that was the good stuff that about that movie, to be honest, like, in lieu of all the other like crazy stuff that they try to inject into that movie. I don't know how you guys feel about that movie.
It wasn't bad. Again, it was a product of its time.
I mean, the only
Silver Surfer stuff. Come on.
The Silver Surfer stuff was great. The Galactus stuff, not so much.
Yeah, the Galactus stuff was terrible.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Was the Galactus in that movie? I thought there was like a shitstorm in it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Fart cloud.
Fart cloud Galactus. Yep.
I know. It's like
that's why I'm not worried about like
somebody took a page out of Green Lantern.
We are going to get a Galactus because if we can have Celestials, we're going to get Galactus.
Dude, I mean that's the thing. Right. And even going back to Eternals and seeing those scenes where like you see those Celestials, you go, Jesus Christ! I mean, like that's freaky stuff right there. And to think like, okay, all right, so you're already establishing this, so establish the one that's most recognizable is Galactus to that, and it's like but again, how do you try to make that work in live action? It's going to be difficult, but at the same time I'm like, hey, try it. You got your cast, you got it's supposed to be 1960s, which I think is cool. But at the same time, I'm going like, all right, this is just Marvel Studios fitting. Now they have Fantastic Four to utilize, but they can't fit it into their modern timeline. So it's like, we're going to put them in the 60s and try to figure out another little branch where it leads into, I don't know. I worry about that. As much as I dig the fact that it is in the 60s, I'm like, okay, cool. Period piece. Have at it. But to me, sometimes it just seems like now that you're going to actually have this, you're trying to fit it somewhere and you're like, well, we could just do this and blah, blah, blah. Because again, they didn't have all their pieces to make this MCU. And now that they have the pieces, they lost two crucial pieces, which is Steve Rogers and, of course, Tony Stark. So it's like, and then all of a sudden you have this other piece that's just floating out here that you're going, we got X-Men, we got mutants. It's like, how do you do that? It's like, that's why I just go like, man, just fucking reboot the whole thing. You're getting to the point where you're gonna have to reboot. But
that's the
Kevin
problem
Feige's like,
universe.
nope, I'm gonna pull it off somehow. I'm gonna pull it off. I don't know. It seems like it's a little difficult task, but power to him if he could pull it off. Fine. I mean, for the most part, pulling off Spider-Man and having Spider-Man finally introduced, it worked. And look what happened. I mean, Spider-Man has been through, Infinity War, Civil War, and then of course had his trilogy, and then of course No Way Home was huge and it was a phenomenon. But it seems like now they're like, all right, now where do we go? Where do we go with Spider-Man? Because it's like it seems like there's no news when it comes to new Spider-Man. It's like we hear things, but it's like, what are they gonna how are they gonna push forward and there was like rumors that Drew Goddard was gonna be, writing it, and then all of a sudden now, which we'll talk about in a little bit, he got another little gig, possibly. I don't know.
I think when it comes to the Fantastic Four, I'm not entirely sold on the idea that it's taking place in another universe. I think it's going to be another period piece set in the main timeline, set in the 1960s.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because I understand like the logic behind it, but I'm just like, why would they do that when they've shown in the past that they do period pieces and they do them quite well? It just doesn't make too much sense to me. And they're all basing this off of the Johnny Storm promotional material they showed. Oh, look, it's a completely different city, so therefore it's a completely different timeline. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What? This is promo art. This is at best like high level concept art. Like, this means nothing. What are you people grasping towards?
It's exhausting sometimes, y'all.
I know. Oh, I know. Oh God, I know. I'm just like, wait and see. Just wait and see until they actually say something.
It's good. I mean, we got a good cast. It's whatever, but it's fine. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, the release date. What's the release date?
It's supposed 2 weeks after Superman.
July 25th, 2025.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if it makes that date.
Goes into production in August, apparently. So
yeah, that's gonna be pretty quick. But hopefully they have their pieces there and they can actually pull it off. I don't know. It could potentially be one of the best MCU movies. It could. Mm-hmm. It's got a great cast. I like the cast, but But at the same time, I'm like, I just like, where are you trying to fit this? Don't again. It's like Feige is really trying his best to keep he is the watcher and just watching like the timelines and just like trying to do his thing.
Maybe he should be watching what scoopers are saying these days. Maybe
I think one of Kevin Feige's greatest strengths personally is if you look at all the stuff that has been done before in the past, X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. Spider-Man has been done twice by the time he finally got a chance to showcase what he could do with the character, and what he did with the character was pretty solid. I mean, I know a lot of people really don't like Far From Home, but you can't deny the success that movie had. $1 billion for Far From Home. He made Mysterio happen. Like, that movie was pretty effing good for all intents and purposes, you know?
Yeah,
and
like the first half hour for me was like terrible, but then it got good. It got intriguing, and then the Mysterio stuff was excellent.
Excellent, right? And even like Homecoming, and just another excellent, like, we're not going to do the origin, but we're just going to present Spider-Man as he is. And I feel like if X-Men 97 is any indication of how they're going to handle the X-Men in the MCU, then I don't really think there's really much to worry about. Fantastic Four. Now, there's one they have to be very careful with, because not only do you have to like kind of not do what the two Tim Story movies did, you also kind of have to like not do what the Fan Four Stick movie did. Not that that's a very high bar to like get over or anything, but still, you really just want to avoid any similarities at all whatsoever. And I think setting it, you know, if we're led to believe that this is a period piece movie in 1963, that's actually really fitting, because they are Marvel's first family, and they debuted, correct me if I'm wrong, in 1962. 62 or 63, it's one or the other. Something like that.
It was early on.
The movie will be called Fantastic Four in 1964, and Patty Jenkins will go, "I did that."
Maybe. But I do think doing this female version of Silver Surfer, I was like, okay, yeah, I completely understand why they're doing this, because they kind of want to separate themselves from the 2007 Rise of Silver Surfer movie. That makes 100% sense to me. And I love that Justin Kroll was like, oh, yeah, well, this pretty much alludes to the fact that Galactus is the villain, but I can pretty much assure you that nobody has been in talks and nobody is in the running for the role right now. Completely putting to rest this nonsense of Javier Bardem being allegedly attached to it. I love that.
But Scoopers said it, Phil. Scoopers.
I don't give a fuck about them.
Well, do you think Galactus is mostly going to be CGI, and then we're going to just have someone voice him?
See, here's the thing about that. If Matt Shackman, who did WandaVision, and he did those WandaVision sets the way he did them, I have no issue whatsoever with him doing Fantastic Four, because I feel like he's going to bring that 60s flair to it. Again, if this movie is set in the 60s, which by the looks of it, it is. And even watching The Bear, like the 2 seasons that I did see, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, you watch The Bear, you see why he was chosen as Ben Grimm. 100% spot the F on. He is Ben Grimm to a T in that show, with a TVMA rating attached to it.
Ooh,
it's great. It's really
I know. I you know, he's one of those guys that shows up in random things that I've watched. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. And I like, I never know his name, but I just know his face, you know. And I haven't watched The Bear yet, and I plan on. And I know, like, I remember seeing the clip of him. Like, he was like yelling in like a horn, a bull horn or whatever the hell. And he goes like, you know, he was like yelling at people, and he goes, you know, screw you guys, or say, and then he made the, you know, and he said a Snyder cut joke, Snyder Phantom joke or something like that. He said a Snyder Phantom thing when it came to The Bear. I think like it was supposed to be like
it was like the second or third episode of season 2. There's a bunch of people lined out of the sandwich shop, and he's like basically telling them, "Get the off my front porch, you bunch of Snyder cut fuck." Like he's he's going on like a very like. What's the word?
I thought it was great. It was great. When people were making a stink about it, you know, because that's what.
That was actually funny compared to the joke in Barbie. So.
True.
You know, like I watched The Bear too, and it's Rick. I think you will love The Bear. There's a lot of cussing. It's a little intense, but it is like one of the most chaotic dramas I've ever seen. I think you will like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Might check it out.
Very short. Very short.
Okay. Short is good. I will take short.
Yeah. Season 1's 8 episodes. Season 2's 10. So
not bad.
Worth it. Worth the watch. Definitely.
Plus, you get a little Punisher reunion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Punisher. Oh yeah, have we seen that? Yeah, the Punisher and Daredevil reunion.
Well, he's the Punisher and the guy who plays Ben Grimm.
Yeah, Ebon Moss-Bachrach is microchipped.
Oh yeah, because because John Bernthal. But I thought you were talking about what's been happening on the set of Daredevil Born Again, and the fact that Punisher, you know, John Bernthal showed up on that set, and we've seen images. And can we just say that there's somebody on that set that is taking pictures and just leaking them out as, hey, set photos, look at this, but they look like they're professional
set photos.
Yeah, that's probably intentional.
But it's like just Jared and something. It's like these like professional paparazzi sites are doing it.
Yes, I think Marvel Studios is like, hey, we're gonna hype this thing up, but I mean, there are some,
but how they can't stop them really? What are they going to do? They're in public places.
Yeah, but like anytime you see a paparazzi stuff, like it looks shitty, and they're like on a telephoto lens. It's blurry. Some of these shots look like they're actually shots that you could put in a fucking magazine. Like it's. I mean, even before we saw John Bernthal, it was like there was shots of Charlie Cox like on a fire escape, and he's like, he's got his leg up on like the on the railing, and he's just like, and it looks like just a cool Daredevil shot, and I'm going, I'm like, all right, that's not a paparazzi shot. That is a planned shot. There's no way.
Didn't they do that during Man of Steel when Henry Cavill was shirtless, and they
probably.
I'm pretty sure WB took pictures of Henry Cavill shirtless when he was shooting the fire on the oil rig during that scene, and they I think they took pictures of that and they released it as if it was paparazzi pictures, but I think it was like a studio.
Both at the same time, it's not hard to it's easy for them to see listings of here this street will be blocked up because this will be shooting here and this will be shooting. It's like at this point, like people know where these things are filming, so it's like yes, could it be planted? Yes, but also at the same time,
how is that not? How is that? I mean, that person, whoever's shooting this, is like right in front of them.
Yeah, that looks like a production still.
That looks like a production.
I think that's just a really, really good lens.
No. There's no way. I mean, like
it is. I've seen that.
That could be an Empire magazine. That could be an Empire magazine right there. If they were to fucking, there could be some work that can happen to it to clean it up a little bit. But that is a shot that could be an Empire magazine.
If that was like a lens, that would be like a wildlife photographer, like way far away with like a 70 to 300 millimeter or something or other. Yeah, it does look like they're like
these were also given to Variety, so it feels like they very well could be production stills given to Variety for whatever reason. I find it kind of funny because Variety's a bit late to this game because Chris and Brent already broke the story that Bernthal was back as the Punisher a couple weeks ago. So
no, but I mean, like I just the shots. I mean, but at the same time, I'm just going like I get it because they're leaning into social media and be like, all right, there's going to be these crazy paparazzi that are going to be shooting from way far away, and we're going to get these ridiculous, ugly shots. Let's just hire.
Well, these images were able to get images. So obviously anyone who has a Getty image subscription, they can just download these photos. It doesn't necessarily mean that the studio is necessarily handing them over and so on, because it's also just a weird way of like, if you just want to show some stuff, just do professional official promotional shoots and just release them like that. Like
that's it. But I think that's what this is. I mean, that looked as professional as it could be, but it's like, hey, don't make it that professional. I don't know. I'm just looking at it like
you're really quaking about this, Dave.
I really am. I'm just like, because everything that I've seen from Daredevil Born Again when it comes to behind the scenes shots, they're just they're good images. That's the thing. It's like they're not like these, fuzzy, pixely fucking images that are shot from far away. It just looks like they actually have a photographer on set that is actually shooting these shots. And to the point where I'm like going, that's a good thing. Release those and make them and to build up hype. I don't know.
I find it strange that these big studios don't have, because I know they have. I mean, I do social media for a living now, but the studios I know have like big social media campaigns they do to promote these movies and things like that. But I would be surprised if they don't have some kind of plan strategy for during the filming and during the shoot. It would be weird and it kind of is weird to me that they don't do something while the movie is going on. They should have something that at least is an official tease to something.
Exactly.
I don't know. I guess that's what some of that is, but there should be more of a plan for that.
I don't think this is a studio. I think it's just that, okay, people know how to read production listings now. People can buy professional cameras. I personally just don't think it's that deep. Now, is it exciting seeing these things? Oh, heck yeah. Like, I was actually surprised they kept the original Punisher suit, because I thought they were going to, for topical reasons, I thought they were going to change the skull because of real life stuff.
Yeah. But no.
I think it's a plant. I'm with Dave. I think it's
See?
a studio photograph
Yeah.
trying to pass it off as a paparazzi photo.
Yeah.
I
Very
think
well
it's-
could be.
Like,
I'm going to buy into that theory.
There's
I'm on board.
I mean, like that shot right there. When I saw that shot, I'm like, that looks like you could put that in a fucking magazine or on a website and be like, hey, first images of Daredevil Born Again with the Punisher. And it's like,
do you have the one of Charlie Cox that you were talking about on the Firescape? I was trying to find that. Now I'm intrigued about these photos.
Wait, Rebecca,
that was a while ago.
Interested in Daredevil, Rebecca?
I'm sorry?
Are you getting interested in Daredevil?
I mean, I have an interest in it. I've just never taken the time to watch it just because I have so many other things. I've got to go through Craig Gillespie's entire filmography, Andy. I don't have time to watch anything.
All
I got to do research.
50 plus movies.
I've got to check that out first.
Yeah, sadly, I mean, like the one where he was on the Firescape, that was a while ago. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I found
There
it.
It is.
I was like, thankfully, I just typed
willed
it
into existence.
I totally did.
I'm curious about it now.
It's better be a good fire escape. It's better be a good fire escape.
Hold on. There it is, right there. I mean, it's been
That's
doctored a little bit.
Fire escape. That's a meta fucking fire escape. I thought this would be golden. I thought it would have like 10 point quality. No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, he's literally
that's
posing. I mean, this is actually like
Yeah.
this is not an actual that like whoever did this like added some things to it, but the
You
shot
can put that on a poster.
Yeah, but the shot is him with his foot up on the railing, and the shot is there. I think they actually added something to it. It's not what the actual shot looked like, but the pose and everything, and it was just
he could just be filming from that angle. Like, maybe he has to be up there high. So
I know, but at the same time, it's like it's such a cool shot.
It is. It's neat. All he needs is just a DD logo.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they added some like colors to this for sure. But that is the pose that Charlie Cox was captured in on this supposedly paparazzi, photo. And I'm like, no. I mean, it was like full on, he was posing for that shot. To me, that's what it was. I don't know. Anyways. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's my whole point. Is like there's nothing wrong with like leaning into if you're shooting outside, that it's gonna get leaked. So lean into it. And that's what I'm kind of like when it comes to James Gunn and Superman, is the fact that it's like, okay, before you start shooting outside, you're just gonna have to like totally reveal the costume. I'm sure, and I'm sure there's a whole crew that is watching social media, looking at that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They're probably watching this very fucking stream, for all we know, because that's their job. It's like anybody talking. Yeah, exactly. Wave to them. They probably are, because that's the way things have to be now. It's like, all right, they're gonna literally have a crew of people going social media, watch everything. What are we doing? What are they talking about? They're analyzing every little thing, and they're just wondering like, okay, how do we get how do we pin down the social media game in 2024 and try to hype up this movie so then we can build up this product and have it be the most successful. I mean, social media is a huge thing. I mean, they're looking at all the TikToks. They're looking at all the YouTubes, everything.
They need to stop looking at the TikTokers and focus on actual
No, but that's their job. But that's their job. They have jobs specifically for these crews to look at that. And that's the thing. It's like while James Gunn is making the movie and trying not to be on social media as much, which he's not, but he, of course he was recently. But it's like, no, James, just make your movie. You guys but at the same time, they have to do their due diligence to promote David Corenswet's dog on a chair that looks like the Superman.
There's got to be somebody, like some sort of social media content person there to do. Like, well, I'm saying that if James Gunn is like doing that stuff by himself, he needs to have someone helping him with that.
Of course.
You mentioned TikTok. It's really interesting. Like, why? I mean, the TikTok influencers are obviously a big thing now. There's like a whole industry around them. Like, you could drop something to some sort of TikTok influencer and make it go viral, and that become like a really cool thing. I miss the days of like the mid 2000s, like the Dark Knight Rises, Man of Steel era of like viral marketing, where if I remember correctly, when Bane came, when they released the Bane photo, it was like a thing where you had to figure out like the little pixels or something, and you had to put the pieces together, and then it like revealed like Tom Hardy in like the big muscle pose. Like, that stuff I thought was really fun and engaging as a fan, and like the "you are not alone" things with like the Kryptonian glyphs. And I know that's kind of early.
You guys remember the Kryptonian countdown?
Look what the Batman did. The Batman had a good
oh my god, the deleted Joker scene.
Yeah, well, that and then there was like the whole stuff where it was like you were trying to like figure out things, and you got like an image. Like when you went to the website and you were like talking to the Riddler kind of thing, you know, like how Batman and Gordon does. They had like a whole viral marketing thing like that when what they did with the Batman marketing was great. So now I'm just kind of going like, all right. So when it comes to now the new DCU, and then when it comes to Superman and even Supergirl, because that's going to probably be like the next one that's going to be in production. It's like you have to. It's not so much that you like when the movie's already made and you already have a movie that's like halfway done and you start figuring out things. No, you have to start doing things before that. And I think they've already done things. And I think like when it comes to the cast, like, you know, Rachel Brosnahan going like, hey, I've been replaced. I've been recast. Now it's David Corenswet's dog. And then, you know, hers like James Gunn posted his first. It was like, oh yeah, he's in the director's chair, and you see the director's chair, and it's like, wow, that looks like the Superman costume. What are we doing here? We get a magnifying glass, and then Rachel Brosnahan posts like her chair, and then you see like supposedly maybe the Superman cape in the background, and they're like really doing a good job of being like, hey, we're just gonna tease elements, and I'm like, good, keep on doing that. I don't need I as much as I want to see what the Superman costume looks like. Keep it for as long as you can to keep people engaged. And that's what you have to do nowadays. And hopefully they can come up with different ideas to keep on doing that. I don't know if it's going to be difficult, but they probably have a whole crew to handle that.
Yeah, I know they probably don't want to do a lot of marketing per se during the shooting time, but something where it's like really strategic and planned out, I think would be really beneficial. It's just, I find that stuff so engaging. Yeah. I remember when BBS came out and they had like all that LexCorp stuff.
Yeah, so the website.
Yeah, like that stuff was really cool. Like you could build like a whole website that just every now and then gets updated. Like you don't have, yeah, you could have like Daily Planet articles about something that was tangentially related to the story that wasn't giving away the plot, but like you're sort of building up the world within the website, and you could just update it like once a month or something, and everybody's like, oh, there's a new Daily Planet website update. I know it's
there was a time when they can do the TV stuff through the Daily Planet as well.
This is true.
Yeah.
Remember they did the Fire Rises thing with the Dark Knight Rises, where like there were all these like really weird clips of like from taken from from real life of like prisoners being sent to somewhere, burning tower in Japan, I think, or something. And I'm like, fuck, they're going deep with this shit. Like I'm like, what is that? And of course everyone trying to be like, what does dasha mean? I'm like, apparently it's a Fire Rise, but I missed those. I even remember like on the DVD of The Dark Knight when they had a little documentary of like the viral marketing where like they had to like track down the Joker, or like they had to show support for Harvey, and then like they had to act in character. I'm like, shit, that shit was fun. Like we need that again.
Yeah, you could have them in character doing like a reel or something. I don't know. I just think there's like small little things you could do that could be really fun.
And James Gunn would be the kind of person who would kind of lean into that a little bit.
Because he's part of the social media world. He knows.
Maybe he is planning, and we just have, it's just, again, he said, we've only shot like 18% of the film, so maybe it's coming. I think this would be a cool little campaign, and even though I know they're not going to, supposedly not going to stay on Comic-Con, but like they could do like a scavenger hunt for as a viral marketing at Comic-Con for the movie, where they start getting to maybe clues of we didn't have anything here at Comic-Con, but we're gonna drop something on maybe this date or whatever.
Now I'm sure it's all planned and how they're gonna be. I mean, but like I said, it's like just keep teasing and don't show us that suit yet. As much as I want to see it desperately, but at the same time, it's like just hold off for as long as you can. And we probably will get it this summer. I don't know when we're going to get like that shot, but that's going to blow up the internet, and they have to, and they're probably looking at it like, okay, when is the best time to actually release the David Gordon Sweat in the Superman costume. And they probably already have it dialed in like, okay, we're going to release it on this date. This is when it's going to happen. And
I wouldn't be shocked if they have actually found a way to be able to film him in the suit without it being on location, and then they're like,
oh yeah,
like if they actually make us wait a little bit longer for it, I would be massively impressed.
Yes, they're gonna. I mean, look what happened when it came to Matt Reeves revealing, the Batman.
Oh, that was fun.
Dun, and they already had the score. I mean, that's the thing.
And they did that with the Joker too, didn't they?
Yeah.
When they had the first glimpse of the Joker for Todd Phillips' Joker.
Exactly. So and even when
Matt Reeves made Vivo relevant again.
Yeah, he did.
Because I'm like, because people had posted on social media. I'm like, where the fuck is this video from? They're like, from Wevo. I'm like, what the fuck is Wevo? And then there you go. Matt Reeves has an official account and everything.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like they already know. It's like, all right, we're gonna have to. I mean, if somebody can hack James Gunn's phone, he already has. He has like every character in their like costumes, no matter what. I mean, no matter what, like in his phone, he probably he has it there. It's like we have like what's his name, Mr. What's his name, Fillion.
Nathan.
I almost wanted to say Nick. I don't know why I want to say Nick, and I was like, that's not right. But he probably has him as Guy Gardner on his phone. Probably has Hawk Girl, like what's her name, as Hawk Girl on his phone, and everybody's like, yeah, and it's like he already has all those on his phone.
How interesting! I interviewed her today.
Oh, did you?
For
a movie she has coming up on Max.
Yeah, that's what's that movie? I forgot what.
Turtles All the Way Down.
There it is. Did you ask any Hawk Girl questions?
Yeah,
you'll have to tune in.
Oh, I don't have anything.
I know you don't even.
I really wow. I could have been so. Yeah, I am.
I'm sure you did, right?
If people like my Michael Rosenbaum interview, I mean, people know that I can do my job.
You are a good interviewer. I will say this, Andy.
Thank you.
You are great. You're great.
Keep it coming.
No, and I'm just saying. I'm like,
no. Keep it going with like
I know.
I want to hear
giving them an ego hummer right now. But I'm just saying, like, you're a good interviewer, and I think when it comes to Miss Merced, you probably did sneak a question in there. You had to have, and
maybe one.
You did a good job of doing it to where it's like, I can't wait for the answer.
Fingers crossed.
He's not gonna answer.
Fingers crossed.
I can't wait. I'm gonna listen to this. Because the somebody left.
They got her. They got her.
Oh,
like the man fucked up and the woman got punished.
I didn't touch anything. I don't know what happened. But yeah, Rebecca.
It was a browser.
It's all good. But I can't wait to see what you asked.
You're so cute. You're so cute, Dave. You're so cute.
Hey, you're back.
Sorry, my StreamYard freezes up every now and then, and I have to restart.
It happens. I know. It was like why right when I was grilling, Andy, I was like,
and the woman gets punished.
And then all of a sudden, boop, you like it was like whoa. All of a sudden everything shifted. I was like, whoa, what happened?
James Gunn Snyder was like, you want crypto in that movie or not?
WB snipers, yeah.
Okay. It's all good. I get it. I get it. I know. But I'm looking forward to what's going to be happening with that. But moving along to the fact that so all right, who's Matrix fans here? I think
I've seen the first one.
You've only seen the first one?
Everyone keeps telling me. Okay. Full disclosure, I didn't see the first one until 2 years ago. But everyone keeps telling me, Andy, you don't need to watch the second and third one. The first one is the only one that's good. And I'm like,
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Reloaded is the second one is rough. I will say.
But what is rough? Okay, Rebecca, what is rough for me?
Okay. We're gonna have a nice little discourse.
It's been a long time since I watched it, but for me when I watched it, because I did like the first one.
Yeah.
But the second one I thought was it wasn't cheesy, but maybe a little cringy. Okay. But that's my memory of it. But that was like 20 years ago, so I haven't revisited it this moment, so I could be misremembering it. But I do remember not having positive reactions to it.
Did you like the third one?
I haven't seen the third one, or I haven't seen the entirety of the third one.
Oh, she was like, fuck it, I walked out of the theater.
No, I just never finished it. But I remember that one was the one that I think is like really leaning into the Neo is the chosen one kind of thing.
You are correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So obviously the first one is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
It evolved cinema.
Yep.
And everything. I still remember watching. I mean, it was literally Super Bowl Sunday, 1999, and I had no idea this movie was existed, and I was just sitting on my couch eating probably Fritos or something like that. I don't know. It was just like one of those where it was like me and my mom were just watching the Super Bowl. It wasn't anything crazy. We weren't doing anything. I was a young lad, and I saw that TV spot, and when I saw the whole dodging the bullet, because that's how they ended that. I went, oh my God. I went, what the hell was that? And then when I saw it when I went to Laughlin, Nevada, and I was going on a trip with one of my good friends, family. They were like, we're going to Laughlin, and hey, we'll bring you with you. So it was like a whole weekend thing. And it was the weekend that The Matrix came out, and we stayed at the Riverside Hotel and Casino that had a movie theater in it, and
Boom.
Obviously The Matrix was playing, and we're like, hey, we got to see it. So everybody, his mom and dad, his brother and his brother's girlfriend, and us, it was late on a Saturday night, and we're watching it, and it's at first you're going, what the fuck is going on with this movie? And it was funny because it's late at night, and then all of a sudden, me and my buddy were sitting there, and we look and we go, your parents aren't here anymore, and your brother are gone, because we all sat in different spots. But we looked and we're like, they left. So they just left us. Now, mind you, we're in it's not it was a different, it's a different time. This is 1999. Where not people were like, oh my God, they left children. I mean, we were 15, 16, whatever the hell. And we were in the same hotel, and we had our own, we were okay. But it was just kind of funny because it was wow. It was you guys didn't stay for the movie. Yeah, we didn't understand the movie. They left. All of them left. And then it turns out this movie ends up being one of the best movies ever, sci-fi, whatever. And, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. But going to what you were saying, Rebecca, when it came to Reloaded.
Yeah, sell me on Reloaded, Dave.
Don't sleep on Reloaded, because it does it does move the story forward. And what I will say is like, okay, so the only gripes that I will have when it comes to the first Matrix is, I mean, obviously they were just doing this crazy thing. When it comes to the fight sequences are great, but there are 2 times where Keanu Reeves is noticeably pushing on cables when he's doing a backflip. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When he's fighting Morpheus and he runs up the pillar, you could see he's pushing against the pillar, the cables, and I'm like, I could see it. And then when he flips out of the subway track when he's fighting Smith, same thing. I'm like, why did they? What the hell? Like sometimes the fight, the wire work is not that great when it comes to at least certain things. When it comes to Matrix Reloaded, the wire work is fucking exceptional. Like they went, you know what? You're not gonna be pushing any cables this time, Keanu. You're gonna be doing some crazy shit where you're gonna be dizzy, and you're gonna be like, well, I'm just saying the fight sequences in Reloaded are top notch. They're better than the first one, but the first one, the story is just, and everything that is involved, it's the best. But the fight choreography in Reloaded is so goddamn good.
I love the highway chase scene. The highway chase.
The highway chase scene. They literally built, Rebecca. Okay. They literally built a stretch of freeway just for this freeway sequence.
Is it like still in use today?
I don't know.
Oh,
that's a good question.
I just said like part of the city now. Like
I don't know, but they built like a stretch of a freeway that they shot the crazy freeway sequence. I'm just saying, like when it made the first Matrix, the story and everything is in the way that what they did there is it's in one of my favorite all-time movies. But when it comes to Reloaded, they upped it. I mean, yeah, the story gets confusing, and I get that. It gets like, whoa, it starts getting to like things where you're like, what the hell's going on here? And I totally get that. But the action and the fight choreography and the wire work just is so freaking good. It's better than the original Matrix when it comes to the fight choreography and the wire work on that one. That's how I sell Matrix Reloaded. It's like compare the fight choreography and the wire work and even some of the action. It's like it's just really good.
Just for you, Dave, I'm gonna do a Matrix rewatch.
Do it,
and I'm gonna pay attention in Reloaded. Reloaded's fight choreography.
You will see a noticeable difference because, like I said, when you watch the first Matrix, there's 2 shots where I'm like, Keanu, you are literally pushing against the cables. I could see it, even though I can't see the cables. You are going like this, and even though the wire work is not terrible in the first one, it's still good. It's still fine, except for there's 2 shots where he does a backflip. But when you go to Reloaded, it's like, holy shit. It's like Keanu, he was like, all right, yeah, I fucked up. And we got a whole different like person that did this because the wire work and the fight choreography is insane, especially when he's fighting all the Smiths. It's just absolutely like crazy. Like, and they of course mix in VFX work, which looks a little weird. Because it's still 2002 or something like that. It wasn't, the VFX are not going to look as sharp, but I'm just saying like the fight choreography and wire work are way better in Reloaded and even Revolutions, but Revolution's more about the real world. So
true.
Anyway, sorry, I just went on a whole spiel of like how I'm defending this because I love this franchise.
All Rebecca had to say was, I found it kind of cringe, and David was like, "Oh my!"
It's been a long time since I watched those movies. Been a long time since I watched. So I will make a promise to you, Dave. I'm gonna rewatch it on your behalf. You made a great pitch.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean, even if you don't like the story of Reloaded, and I get that because it can get confusing, but just look at the fight choreography and the wire work between the first and the second one. There is a big time improvement.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I third that.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's just, that Smith sequence when he's fighting all the Smiths, it's just Jesus Christ. Like, how the hell do you do all that? Yeah, it's insane. But okay, so we have Matrix Resurrections that came out during the pandemic, in the heart of the pandemic. I enjoyed it. I like how they introduced this world into the new world, because obviously, like the Matrix 1999, internet was not how the internet is now.
Right.
So I enjoy like Resurrections. Yeah, it might be the weakest because I just love the trilogy so much. It's weaker than all three of those, in my opinion. But I do appreciate how they tried to get us back into that world and how they attempted it. I don't know how you guys feel about that. For everybody who's watched every bit of it,
it definitely made it. It definitely took a lot of the things that we have going on in our society, and I'm still amazed that Warner Brothers, like the amount of like slams they gave with Warner Brothers. I'm still amazed I
love those scenes. Yeah. There was like a little bit of meta right in there, like, and it was like, because he was like, oh yeah, they want to make another sequel, and it's like, what is going on here? I would like, it was meta.
The gaming of it.
Yeah.
And I actually made it's second next to the first one.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
The first time I was okay with it, but the more I'd watched it, I watched it a few more times after that, and I said, no, it keeps rising up. So it's number 2 for me.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. But then we got Drew Goddard that is supposedly going to be writing and directing this. And Drew Goddard is a good name. He's a good name. I mean, it's funny because Drew Goddard, he was rumored to get the Spider-Man 4 gig. And then also he's part of the DC Studios family. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, he's going to be doing Matrix 5. It's like, what the hell? It's so weird. Like, this is one of those things where I'm like going, all right, we just had the 25th anniversary that just came about, which was like Monday, Monday, or whatever the hell it was. It was like 25 years. And then all of a sudden Warner Brothers goes, hey, guess what? We're going to do another one. And we got Drew Goddard. And I just worry that it was like a PR thing where it's like, okay, we're going to just put it out there and then we're going to attach a name to it. And then it's never going to come to be. And then I also go like, all right, well, no, maybe they wouldn't do that with one of their biggest IPs. And if they do this, I'm like, and Drew Goddard has a good story, it's like, okay, so he's not going to just do something where, like they did with Terminator, like, oh, we're going to ignore Terminator 3 and Salvation and all the stuff. We're going to actually, and just be a direct sequel to the second one. It's like, no, he actually has an idea where it would, even though people didn't like Resurrections as much, it's like, no, it's still going to incorporate that, but I have this twist and I have this idea, and I'm just, I don't know how you guys are feeling about this, but I'm like intrigued, but also worried kind of thing, because I love this franchise so much.
Yeah, I think I see a lot of people who are saying just because the Wachowskis aren't involved outside of a producer, outside of a producer role, at least one of them, the other one doesn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. So
you'd have to imagine they signed off on it in some fashion or other. Like, I doubt Drew Goddard pitched this without their blessing in some fashion. Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been happening at all.
Well, it's funny because Zach Penn, I remember before Matrix Resurrections came out, Zach Penn, who has written a lot, X2 and a lot of X-Men 2 and some other things too. I mean, like he's notable. Like, if you look at what he's written, he said that he wrote a Morpheus origin story.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that would be sweet. But that didn't come to fruition, sadly. So, I mean, I'm not like saying like this is going to be something like that, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I'm like, I really love this franchise, and I love the whole. I mean, it made people in reality go like, "Hey, are we in a simulation? What's going on here, guys?"
Yep.
there's so many things where we go like, hey, maybe we are in a simulation, and that's the thing about that movie. It questioned even our own reality when it came to watching that. But that'll keep you up at night. But I'm just kind of wondering, like, where does it go, and who is going to come back when it comes to this new Matrix movie? Is Neo and Trinity involved? Are they going to bring back Lawrence Fishburne? But who knows? I don't know. Like, I'm just really intrigued. But who knows?
I don't necessarily have mixed feelings about it, but I'm definitely of the mind of like, not necessarily the Matrix needs a refreshing voice attached to it. It's just nice to see that someone else other than the Wachowskis, not that it's a bad thing, again, that someone else is like, hey, I have an idea for a story set in the Matrix. Because it's also important to note, nowhere in that article that announced this, it was slated as like reboot, retelling, reimagining. Nope. They made it very clear that this is another story that Drew Goddard brought forward that set place in this universe, and I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah, and yeah, they made it a point where it's like, oh yeah, he loves the characters and he wants to continue. They said continue into the Matrix world kind of thing. Yeah. So it's not like any kind of like, all right, we're gonna just like totally just rehash this thing. And I'm like, good. And it's what
I just said, like, don't rehash it.
No.
Need to.
Yeah, we don't need a reboot. Just keep giving us
Keanu
original
Reeves.
Stories.
You have Keanu Reeves. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, and you know what? And I'm gonna say it. I think Constantine 2 is probably not gonna happen. Sadly, I know we've been all wanting it to happen. I could be wrong.
All of us, really?
Huh?
All of us really wanted Constantine 2?
Oh, you didn't want?
Matt Ryan is the only Constantine I care about.
Rebecca, how do you feel? Which Constantine do you want?
Rebecca, you're muted. Rebecca.
I'm sorry. I was doing Matrix research, so I was like, I should probably. I was trying to read some Wikipedia articles. Matt Ryan's the only one I know, but I think I would be interested in the Keanu Reeves Constantine version, just because I've never seen it. But I think I would like it.
You have some Keanu Reeves homework that you got to.
I do. I've watched a fair bit of Keanu Reeves, but in terms of like his more IP related stuff, I'm kind of behind. I did catch up on the John Wick series of films,
which is good.
So
good. That's his best franchise.
So John Wick, though, like it becomes a little samey after a while. It's like, okay, he's gonna go and he's gonna kill a whole bunch of people, and it's whatever. But I got sucked into him. I was like, well, who's he gonna kill next? Got to find out. So
but what's also great about those movies is like, how are we gonna see those? Like, where's it gonna take place?
Right.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, literally, John Wick 4 is like, oh, there's a staircase where he's gonna. I mean, it's literally like a video game. You have to look at John Wick like such a video game, and and I didn't really think about that until I saw John Wick 4, where he's like, where they're going up the staircase, and it's like this is like such a video game because it's like, and then even before that, when like, I mean, that beautiful shot, that one shot that went above where he had like the shotgun that like shot like. It was like a different kind of shot, and so it was like a one shot. So like the camera was like above, and it looked like a video game. I'm like, and I remember just like in the movie theater going like, yeah, this is a fucking video game, and they nailed it. They nailed it. And then when it came to the staircase, it's like, yeah, it's like this is ridiculous. It's gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, this is a fucking video game, and it's like, what do you do when it comes to that? And that's what you got to love about, that franchise and Keanu Reeves.
I'm going to take us on a side tangent, but did you watch The Continental?
I did not.
I watched the first episode because we did a pilot.
I heard it wasn't that great.
We did it for Supergirl Radio to do a pilot pod because Katie McGrath was in it for like 2 seconds. But I realized that I am more invested in the world of John Wick when John Wick is in it. Exactly. I find that John Wick being in it is actually very crucial. But I do like the world of the Continental and like that hotel where it's like all these like assassins go and they have these coins and they do it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm not normally drawn to that kind of franchise, but I got kind of sucked in. I can't lie.
I mean, the way that they expanded the John Wick universe. I mean, and we're supposed to get, of course, another chapter or another spinoff, which is the ballerina stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I'm kind of worried about that because it was supposed to come out this year, and they were like, we got to postpone it till next year, and it was like, oh shit, and it's Ana de Armas who's going to be leading that, and I'm like, and it was kind of funny because she was in the last Bond movie.
Yep.
And her character was fucking awesome. And I was like, oh, you have, okay, so when you're finding a new Bond, just have a spinoff with her. But then the John Wick universe was like, hey, we're just gonna utilize her for this. And I'm like, okay. All right, so if Bond's not going to utilize her, okay. And then I was like, okay, this is coming out this year. I'm looking forward to it. And I actually had it in my top 10 anticipated movies, and then they bumped it to next year. I'm like, God damn it.
I think that ballerina thing, I'm looking it up, and it says Shay Hatton is attached to that. Shay Hatton has been one of the writers on Rebel Moon, yes?
There you go.
Correct.
So
yeah.
That's interesting.
It will, yeah. So there you go right there. We got that, and then of course we got Joker 2, which of course we saw the poster. Looks good. Did you guys hear the audio clip from Lady Gaga?
Did not. No,
I did not. No, I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, how about your reaction?
You didn't even know about that?
I'm gonna jump, Dave. Early
yeah.
Call
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Get y'all later. As always, pleasure, everyone. Have a great weekend.
See you, Chris.
Take care, Chris.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Have fun puffing.
Thank you, Chris. Always great talking to you, man. All right, man. Take it easy. No, there was a Lady Gaga. So when they released, of course, the poster, which looks great. There's also like a
I can help you find that clip right now. Because I'm a shameless bitch. I will plug myself whenever I can.
I know, it's like, but at the same time, it's like, there it is. Yeah, I found it already. Did you find it already, Andy?
I already linked it to you in private chat, but imagine clicking on the private tab.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, you had it. But let me see. Hold on. Yep, that's it. Okay, so obviously we have the poster right here, which did it work? Oh, damn! I don't know why StreamYard's been a little weird.
I thought you were going to say StreamYard.
Yeah, I almost said StreamYard. Yeah, but there's a poster right here. But then, of course, we have.
You can do anything you want. You're Joker.
Wow. Okay.
But she goes like, you could do anything you want. You're Joker kind of thing. But
I mean, that was all right. I don't know. Like I was expecting something else. I don't know what I was expecting.
It's a teaser for a teaser, Rebecca. The trailer comes on Tuesday.
Yeah, but she's supposed to be playing a Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah.
That sounded that sounded like Lady Gaga to me. Like that doesn't sound like Harley Quinn.
You wanted
put a little effort into a Harley Quinn voice, please. Be an actress, do some acting. I don't know. Maybe
Rebecca said that with her whole chest, like be an actress.
I love that. Relax. Yeah. Yeah. Act.
Acting. I don't know. That's just my first impression. I'm very excited about Joker 2, but that was kind of weird. I don't know. I don't have a lot of.
I love it. I love the fact that you reacted like that. No, that's good. That's good because okay. Because when it comes to Lady Gaga, obviously when it came to A Star Is Born, she did fantastic, but she was essentially playing, stuff. And then when it came to Gucci, a lot of people had mixed reactions to her Gucci performance. I've seen that. I mean, as much as that movie got like a lot of praise, but that movie got a lot of like, this is bullshit. Like, what the fuck? She's doing a crazy accent. And Jared Leto, what the fuck is that guy doing? It was very interesting because I enjoyed Gucci because it's Ridley Scott, right? And he knows how to just like move a movie. And I was like, okay, he did a good job. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but I don't need to watch that movie again. It's like one of those movies where it's like, okay, I get it. I got what you're doing. But everybody was like either raving about Lady Gaga in that movie, and then of course Adam Driver as well. But then at the same time, people were going like, this movie, like look at her accent's not great, and blah blah. It was a very interesting kind of like thing. Lady Gaga, it's like she's good, and and I do kind of worry about when it comes to Joker 2, and I'm like, okay, is she gonna be good in this role? Hopefully, because I mean, it's a musical. She could sing, so hopefully
let's remember the fact this is this Joker franchise is a very Elseworlds type of thing.
Yeah,
there are taking a lot of liberties. It's like if they're doing liberties with Joker, then they may as well with Harley too. I'm sure that for me, like I'm not gonna like fall up to pieces if we don't hear a New York accent. But for me, I'm like, I want the original origins of.
What if it's set in New York though?
It's in Gotham City though.
Oh, it's in Gotham City. Okay, I'm just saying, like they could be in New York. I think you need that. I don't know where this story is taking place.
You need to add Joker to your rewatch home list. I'm kidding.
I don't know anything about Joker 2, so I have no idea.
You're right. They filmed in New York.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
But it is in Gotham City. Just I mean, like correct. They do a good job of like establishing. I mean, that's the thing. Is like I'm intrigued by Todd Phillips going like, all right, how do I outdo the first one? All right, make it a musical. You're gonna do something. Okay, let's do it. And there's a lot of pressure when it comes because the first one was so like, okay, this was a different take. And everybody, $1 billion R-rated movie that won awards, Academy Awards. So, yeah, he's got a lot. There's a lot riding on this. And I think the fact that it's like
$200 million, yeah, there is. That's still the thing.
They paid him a ton of money to come back. They were like, hey, can you do a second one? And Todd Phillips was like, I don't know. And then Warner Brothers was like, how much?
We need to back that truckload of money.
Exactly,
in his driveway.
Yeah.
Right.
Beep, beep, beep.
He's like, you want a second script? I'll give you a second script.
But see, that's the thing. Is like I worry about that. I worry about that because I'm like, it should have just been a one-off, in my opinion. I think a lot of people thought that, but then when there was like the whole musical aspect, I was like, okay, that's different. So I mean, if somehow Todd Phillips pulls off like a sequel to his movie that won Academy Awards and got $1 billion, I don't think it's gonna get $1 billion this time. Probably. But if it does get awards recognition, that would be just absolutely insane if like that happened.
Will we enter Joker free at that point?
At that point, you might as well make it a trilogy.
You might as well.
You might as well do something.
They probably already have ideas. Yeah.
I'm with Andy to the point that like Todd Phillips, he did such a good job with the first one. He can do whatever he wants. I'll still go see it and I'll go along for the ride. I guess for me with like performances of these characters, I think you have to have something that's in the essence of the character that I can recognize. Like, yes, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was a little bit different, but he was also sort of the there was a comic book Joker in there that I could recognize, and he also had a very distinctive laugh. He took the Joker cackle very seriously. So I would hope that whatever Lady Gaga chooses to do with Harley Quinn, that she puts her own spin on it and like attempts a spin on it, and not just like Lady Gaga with clown makeup on. You know, like I kind of want a little more effort into it.
This
But
could also be when she's Harley Quinzel before she becomes Harley Quinn. Like maybe this could literally be her, during their therapy session of like, well, you can do anything you want, right? You're the Joker, right?
that's
Like,
true. And then maybe she sort of transforms into like
Yeah.
what we know as Harley Quinn after that happens. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That's what's going to be interesting to see. Like her transformation is going to be interesting to see, because the whole transformation of Joaquin Phoenix or Arthur Fleck in the first one.
You mean Fleck?
Okay, one of two things
of laughter when I saw it. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I think we all did that. I think we all did.
One of two things, if not both. The script had to be spectacular for Joaquin Phoenix to come back, number one. And if not also, he probably really likes working with Todd Phillips.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
It's probably both of those things, if not one or the other. I would have to guess. But I'm intrigued.
The fact that they got Lady Gaga to be like, oh yeah, I want to do this, because like I said, like when you see the movies that she's done, she doesn't do like, she is doing like these high profile movies. I mean, Stars Born was not a high, I mean, it was just like one of those like, oh, but then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it seems like everything that she's done gets awards
talked about. It hits the public
and they get
eye.
nominated. They get nominated, even though like regardless of how you feel like
or
about
even
that,
like House of Gucci.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the fact that got still awards recognition, even though people were like, there was people out there going like, no, but at the same time, that movie, and it was a good movie. Like Ridley Scott did a good job, I thought, when it came to that. It wasn't one of those movies where I was like, I got to watch it again. Yeah, I watched it. I was like, okay, I got the gist. I got it. Performance was good, but I didn't think it was anything like, I was like, oh yeah, they did a great job and whatever the fuck. She can act. And she can act her ass off. And I'm like, okay, so now we got this role. And I'm like, all right, now she has to do another live action Harley Quinn that is different from Margot Robbie and anybody else who came out before her, And I think obviously being a musical, that helps because she has the vocal cords to at least do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is received. I don't know, because I'm still going like, I'm intrigued and I think there's going to be something very awesome here, but I'm also going like, oh, this could be horrible.
Yeah.
It could be horrible because I'm not a big musical guy, but when I saw La La Land, I went, holy shit, I mean, there's other musicals, obviously Willy Wonka and stuff like that.
Have you seen Chicago? I was telling Andy about Chicago.
Chicago is pretty fucking phenomenal too. I will say that too.
Yeah.
Like there are films that utilize the musical genre so well, and you just kind of go like, okay, yeah, I can totally accept this. So I'm hoping that this is one of those, and I think it is. But what happened, Andy?
Just look at the chat.
Oh, what that? What happened?
Axel's being a little shit, and we're just dragging him for it.
Oh,
don't snort in the microphone, bitch! I have allergies. Mind your business.
Yeah.
I'm sick all damn day. Good God.
Say something useful, Axel. It would be. It's a good look to try every once in a while.
Damn, I wasn't trying to be that mean, but yeah, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, like even from what I understand, it might have been Lawrence Sher. Someone on the production was like, "Oh yeah, she goes by Lee in this movie," and I was like, "Oh okay, that's a nice distinction from like Harley, Harleen, Miss Quinzel." It's like put her own.
Wait, can you spell it out? What does she go by?
Lee. Like Lee, like I guess she abbreviates her version of the character.
And who
like
said
Lee.
this?
I want to say like Lawrence Sher or someone on the production. Like they mentioned it in a past interview. I remember reading this.
Who is Lawrence Sher?
Cinematographer, director of photography. If I'm not mistaken.
I will wait till we see it. I don't know if I necessarily, but no offense to the cinematographer, but like I don't know if I'm gonna take the word of someone who's not involved with the story making itself. So
Well, a cinematographer would be pretty involved.
Yeah.
But why would she say something like that when so many of these things are always like under embargo and stuff? Or is Lady Gaga pulling? Is she doing method acting and they're just calling her Lee when she's not filming?
Well,
you know what's crazy?
Oh, wouldn't that be something? Now I would watch that.
Right.
Lady Gaga, like, no, you must call me Lee while we're on set. I would be into that. I'd be like, I want to follow her around and see what she's doing all day.
Is she a method actor? I don't know.
I mean, if she starts sending rats to her cast members, we will know.
Did they do like a behind the scenes like follow of like the production of Joker?
I'm sure.
I don't know if they did or not. I don't know if that was on like the.
I mean, there were featurettes, but like
featurettes, yeah, you have to do a featurette. But you know what's interesting is like the fact that I think I even read this today, but I think a year ago today it wrapped filming, like principal photography. So a year ago, this movie, principal photography, was wrapped. I read that I think earlier today. It was like the fact that like, oh yeah, we're finally gonna get this movie, but it just shows you how long it takes for some of this. And I'm wondering, like, probably because of all the musical elements that are added to it, that's why it's taking that's why it took so long, like, for this. And hey, fine. I mean, obviously, like when it comes to like it was funny because you had somebody who was part of it, I think, that was part of the crew that went like, it's not exactly a musical, but he said that, and it was like, okay. I just assume like, okay, there's a musical rendition in all the 3 acts. Okay. But then all of a sudden they're like, it comes out on Friday that says like, oh yeah, there's like 15 songs or whatever the hell that they
15
do, or something like that. There was like something. I saw something.
There's 15 songs, with a lot of them being like cover.
Something like that. But I could have sworn it said 15.
Rebecca is shook by now.
What? Yeah.
Rebecca, do you need a moment?
Well, I'm just like going through all the musicals I can think of in my head of how many tracks there are on the soundtrack. 15 is a lot.
I know. I don't know. I could have swore I saw that. I was like 15 songs.
Here's the article, Rebecca. Here you go in the private.
Found it.
Yeah.
Okay, you found it.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I love musicals, but I'm just surprised that it was that many.
15 cover songs. Yeah, it does say that.
At least 50 original tracks may be added.
So they're cover songs. These are not original songs. It says original tracks may be at. Okay.
Let's read it. Let's
Joker 2 musical details revealed. At least 15 cover. At least 15.
It could be more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's read.
The Joker and Harley Quinn are set to. Insiders privy to filming and early versions of Todd Phillips' eagerly awaited sequel to The Joker tell Variety the movie leans heavily towards being mostly a jukebox musical, as it integrates at least 15 reinterpretations of very well-known songs.
This is why it costs so much money to make.
Yeah.
They had to pay for all the licensing of these songs.
Probably. Most of the money went to the songs.
From the 1953 musical The Bandwagon, famously associated with Judy Garland. However, there is a door open for an original song or two to be added in the final version. Details regarding who would pen the track or sing the numbers are unknown. We do know, according to sort of Hilder, not even going to try that, the Oscar-winning composer of the first Joker is said to infuse her distinctive, haunting music cue into each number. Warner Brothers declined to comment. Okay,
I have to say, I'm a little disappointed that
wait. Hold on, Rebecca. Look what it says. Early versions of Todd Phillips. Early. This doesn't necessarily mean that the thing we're going to see in October Well,
wait. Good. Okay. Wait. Keep reading about
Dave, we just opened Pandora's box for her.
Yes.
We cannot
No.
go back.
I am very.
Okay. I got it.
I'm very concerned about this now.
Oh boy.
What else do we need?
No,
Oh no, they're doing
Moulin
Moulin Rouge stuff in here. No, that's not what that said.
I'm
keep
terrified.
scrolling. Scroll down, Dave. Stop.
Or no, it's just saying Moulin Rouge was a jukebox musical. Okay, I feel better about that.
Okay, Dave, you can't do that to her.
I know.
I
I wasn't trying to.
It'll be okay. It's fine.
I'm nervous about this now.
We just ruined
I think we all are. I think we all are.
I don't know.
I'm here for it. I am ready for however weird it's about to get.
So
I mean,
well, I will say when I'm sorry, Phil, I'm interrupting.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, the first time I saw Moulin Rouge, I was like, what is this? What the heck is this? And then I watched it the second time and I was like, I think I like this. I know what this is now. So I'm not opposed to like a jukebox musical or whatever they're calling it. But I was just kind of hoping that it would be like original songs. So you have Lady Gaga, she could write the songs. I don't know why it's not
I'm
original
sure
there.
she's doing some original. I mean, I don't think this is a writer.
You have to have at least one original
one,
song.
you'd think, right?
Yeah. What were you going to say, Phil? I interrupted.
I was just going to say, like, with the first film, I didn't really know what to expect, right? Because leading up to it, Joaquin Phoenix was cast in the role. The budget wasn't very high. Like, it was its own thing. And I just kind of went in with like, okay, I wonder what kind of story does Todd Phillips have to tell with this different kind of Joker. He's taking like an anti-approach to making a comic book film, but just being like, no, I want to take a character and just kind of study like the aspects of it from a very certain real perspective. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And then, you've got a great actor in Joaquin Phoenix, and then that movie proceeded to do what it did and have a literal cultural influence going on with it, right? So, of course, Warner Brothers trying to lowball him every step of the way, cutting the budget, like being like, oh, well, we're going to split we're going to split distribution with Braun Entertainment. Then that movie makes the money that it does at the box office, and Warner Brothers goes, oh, we done fucked up. We got to do this all on our own this time. That way we can maximize the profit off of this, right? So when they court Todd Phillips to do the second one, I think, I don't remember what he exactly said after doing the first one. He was like, look, it would take a lot for me to come back, and I would have to have a really good idea for a second one. And I feel like making the second one a duo about Harley Quinn and the Joker, it feels like a natural progression, especially for a story like this. If you're doing like another kind of case study, well, if you're doing a case study on someone who just completely regresses psychologically speaking, what is the next step in that? Oh, well, you add someone else who is going to regress along with him. And what does that regression kind of look like? I feel like Joker Folie à Deux is very much, it's setting itself up to be a lot like the first film, but also in a way standing on its own as being some kind of, let's take these two iconic characters and show, the psychological aspects of what makes them both tick together, but also like, let's do it in a fun way that was almost kind of fun for the first one. Like the first one was very much cerebral. This one just feels like, well, how can we kind of step aside from the first film and have it be its own thing? Well, let's just add some more musical cues because we want Harley Quinn to really be different, as opposed to like, Margot Robbie's version, which would be the most comparable one at this point. And even she was like, yeah, I want someone else to come and take over the role and do their own spin on it. This is literally Lady Gaga being like, yes, I would do my own spin on Harley Quinn by making her musically inclined. I feel like I'm using the word musical too much, but still, like it just feels interesting that they're not only are they doing a second one, but they're like, oh yes, it's going to have a bit of like a Pulp Fiction-y kind of musical touch to it to some degree. Because when I think of like jukebox musical, I'm just drawn back to that scene in Pulp Fiction where it's Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife, Mia Wallace, and they're in that diner areas,
right?
Jack Rabbit Slims. There we go.
Yeah,
and they have that dance off, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the movie could very well be something along those lines every act you get a major big piece like that, but then the smaller moments are probably a little bit more emotional, probably heightened, maybe a little terrifying, because I mean this is about the Joker and Harley Quinn, for crying out loud. So I don't know, I'm just kind of my point is I'm kind of tempering my expectations a little bit, in that I don't know what to expect, and I feel like that's a good way to go into this movie coming from this director, based off of how I went into the first one. Just, don't know what to expect, and that I think is like the perfect level of expectation maybe anyone should have going into it.
Totally agree.
Another great soundtrack, the Pulp Fiction soundtrack.
Yes, it is.
Every song is awesome.
So they're probably going to be banking on this soundtrack to be something like, oh, this is going to sell, and it's going to be like, there's going to be some re-renditions when it comes to Lady Gaga. Anyway, Joaquin Phoenix and sing. I mean, let's face it, he did play Johnny Cash.
Yeah,
that's
true.
I
mean,
you're very right.
He can do his own version. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this movie is marketed, and I dig the first poster. I think it's cool, and we're gonna get that trailer next week. I mean, no, not even
Tuesday.
next week. I wonder 3 days from now, 4 days from now.
I think it'd be really cool if the one track that maybe Lady Gaga did, if there is one, right? Like, I feel like a fun nod is if it's called Mad Love. That'd be cool.
Oh, they could cover the song Mad Love. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, that's true. Maybe. Yeah. That'd be cool.
I also don't know.
No, I'm thinking of Mad World. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was just thinking more of like something inspired by the Paul Dini story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I could definitely see something like that maybe happening.
Yeah.
But,
they could pay homage to it a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, I just don't think there's going to be 15 cover songs. So I think this is where like variety is like getting a little
exaggerating,
getting a little too crazy.
Yeah. But it's like that means like so let's say the movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes at least. That's the average. That means they would have to be a movie in the. Someone help me with math.
What's like 15 times 5? average out a song of 5 minutes.
Every
75. Well, 15 times 5 is 75, right?
Let's see. If you had 50,
15 times 5. Hold on. 25. Yeah, 75.
Yeah. So
that'd be 75 minutes,
give or take. That is an hour and 15 minutes.
So like half the movie, probably.
Yeah. Well, if the movie's allegedly like what, 2 hours, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know if a runtime has been revealed for it yet.
Let me look it up.
Well, you would know, Mr. Insider. Just kidding.
I don't get information like that. Those are those are for other people to break.
True, very true.
They have not announced it. But let me look and see how long the first one was.
I think the first one was just like over 2 hours, like a little bit just over 2 hours.
2 hours and 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So a sequel based on a movie that was super successful, they're likely going to increase probably to 2 hours and 15 minutes. Maybe.
Yeah.
So in average, how often would it be a song if there's 15 songs? Like every what?
Don't make me do that math.
My
guess is like every 5 to 10
We can't
minutes.
ask Dave. He's drunk. Like Dave, what is 15 times 5?
15 times 5 is let's see.
Did we determine it was 75?
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Never mind. But yeah, it's.
I mean, maybe the songs could be 3 minutes.
How dare you, Andy? How dare you challenge me while I've been drinking wine all night? Come on.
No, that's why I said we can't ask Dave because he is drunk. And then I just to prove my point. I said, what is 15 times 5? But then Rebecca had to be like, is it not 75?
You could be a genius savant in this state.
Yeah, but 15 songs. I can see maybe 10 songs and one of them being an original. 15, I'm just like, who else is in this movie?
Well, now it makes sense as to why the budget ballooned. off of the first one. So that makes sense to me because I think it is a lot about the music, that budget.
There are 7 new cast members joining this film who have been cast in undisclosed roles, and the only 3 returning from the original film is Joaquin, Lady, and Zazie.
And who?
Zazie Beetz as Sophie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. She's coming back for this.
I was like,
is that the chick
when
that
you
lives
said that?
here?
I was like, are you talking about?
She lives in the same complex. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck, that was an awkward move when she was like, I don't even know you, dude. And it was all in his head because I was like, oh, the one woman that would actually like care for him, but but we found out, nope, it was all in his head.
Wild.
That's what's so good about that movie.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I know. I was like, oh, when you see that, you go, oh my god, crazy. And we're gonna get more of that too when it comes to this movie. I'm like, all right,
the title means like what, like common psychosis, shared psychosis, something like that.
It's something for 2.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it in French, but like, it's on Google. It says it means shared madness.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that movie is gonna be. Not only is it the only DC movie of the year, it's just one of those like. Will it live up to the original number 1? Will it be what Warner Brothers wants it to be? I know, right? Like, no, I don't think so either.
I don't think it needs to. I think it can. I think that this can be a good sequel, but it's good. It could be just as good as the first Joker, but for very different reasons. That's how I looked at it when it came to Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. I can't decide which one of those 2 is the better movie, but they're just as good, but for very, very different reasons. Because everything has to be a pissing contest these days anyway. So
true. Well, that's a pretty fair comparison considering both films are made by the same director.
Yeah,
well,
they both accomplish very different things.
Look at Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
True.
Well, you're right, Dave.
Very true.
Dave, how many fingers am I holding up?
No, you got 4. No, I'm not that drunk. I just got the hiccups right now. God damn it. Yeah.
Somebody clip that. I got drug. I got that drug.
I'm trying to get rid of these hiccups. I'm like, God damn it, man.
That's funny.
Anytime that happens, I'm like, shit.
You're so cute.
Yeah. Drinking wine, I'm like, God damn it. As soon as I came back from the bathroom, I was like, I took a sip and I was like, oh boy, it hit that. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh yeah, that wine hit the diaphragm, which is what causes hiccup. I'm like, God damn it. Yep. So now I sound like that drunken fucking what's that cartoon character in Looney Tunes? Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Dave, hold your breath for 15 seconds.
I've been trying, man. I've been doing like all the things I can.
If Zach was on here right now and he said try harder, you would do it. Come on, man. Just try harder.
No. If Zach was on here, he wouldn't be on this late. This is where this is where we're almost 4 hours in, man. I've been drinking.
We're trying to help you, man. That's all.
For not you guys, but for me, I'm like, Jesus. Hold on.
Oh, he's trying it, I think.
It's funny.
Dave, you can't open your mouth. You need to hold your breath. That's the whole point of it.
I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to get it. I think they're gone. I think he's got it.
All right. I think I got it because I muted my mic because I was like, come on, guys. The secret of trying to get rid of hiccups, at least when it comes to at least this form of it, you have to take a deep breath and then swallow at least 2 or 3 times. That's what I did right there.
The swallow was a secret all along, wasn't it?
Okay, so you're just getting dirty, man. Come on. I see hey, yeah, what? Huh? Yeah, look at those guilty eyes, Andy. I see you.
What do you mean filthy eyes? I can take that in a racial way. No, but no, you said swallowing is the secret.
Yes. No. One of the things that I've like learned when it comes to hiccups, when it comes to that, it's like you have to take like the biggest deep breath, and then you got to try to swallow your saliva 2 or 3 times, and then see what happens. And that's what I just did right there. I took a big deep breath. Man, this has turned into the hiccup stream right here. But I was like, yeah, that's what I did right there. I was like, okay, I took a deep breath, and then I was like, and then try to, it's difficult to do because especially if you're not, you don't have saliva. It's like, oh yeah, 3 times. That's hard. But that's what I just did right now, and it got rid of them. So
that's good to know. I didn't know that. That's a good
trick. Yeah. So if you ever have like a crazy, some crazy hiccups that just come out of nowhere, it's like you're like, just take a huge deep breath, and then try to like just 3 times, and it does help, and it helps right now.
Chad Joyce, who's a sinner? Who are you calling a sinner?
Who's the sinner? What?
He's in the comments. Someone is saying sinner.
Who knows? Probably me, because I swallowed 3 times. Sorry.
Too funny.
Anyways, all right.
This Tuesday.
This is a good spot to end this stream.
I was about to say maybe I should leave.
I know, right?
It's getting
a little weird
in here.
Film Junkie says hiccup tutorials on OnlyFans, and if you subscribe for $5, exactly. he will physically teach you. He will come to your house, and he will physically teach you how to swallow your hiccups.
Yeah, there you go. I'll teach the hiccup swallow. Anyways, all right. So yeah, let's go ahead and end this. I think we talked about everything that we wanted to talk about tonight. And of course, thank you to Chris for joining, and thank you to everybody right here, Andy, Rebecca, of course, Phil. We'll go around the horn and promote anything you got going on right now. And we'll start with Andy.
Well, thank you as always for having me on. Appreciate it. I know I've been gone for a while, but I will try to be around more often. I felt so rude every Friday when he invited me. I'm like, shit.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay. I don't take offense.
Fair enough. You can check me out at Anibite all over social media. I run Multiverse of Color. I write at Screen Rant, and check out my new show, The Showrunner Whisper. We just dropped episode 2 yesterday with Mark Verheiden, who was the showrunner for Swamp Thing. A very short-lived but very good DC show. So, and there's more good stuff on its way. And I think roughly in a month and a half from now, I think the internet will be talking about something that is part of one of those episodes. Rebecca knows. So, try hassle her if she gives you any answers.
Now my lips are sealed. You'll have to listen to the episode.
That's how integrity works. Take a note, Scoopers.
Yes. Right. All right, Rebecca, what do you got?
Well, you can check me on Supergirl Radio, so supergirlradio.com. You can also hang out with us on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on the DCTV Podcast YouTube channel. We should be back this week talking about The Girls on the Bus. We're going to be looking at Melissa Benoist's new Max TV show. The Pilot Pod will probably do a pilot discussion of it. Are they on the bus? Are they in the bus? We're not real sure. So we're going to have
Was
that.
there ever a bus?
Or they might be around the bus. We're not really sure. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm also going to be doing hopefully some more content for my personal YouTube channel at youtube.com/duckmilkprod. I'm hoping to do, I'm about a year late, but maybe a recap of my Full Circle experience. So I'm hoping to work on that this weekend. And then also I've been doing interviews with other Snyder fans talking about why they like Zack Snyder films. So that's hopefully going to be starting on in May that I will drop those interviews. Just, I feel like we get a bad rap about being toxic, and that's just not been my experience. So I've been talking to a lot of really cool people and getting to hear some of their the ways in which they go about their fandom. So if you want to check that out, I'll be hopefully dropping those starting in May.
Nice. Yeah, that Zack Snyder guy. He's a hack. Anyways, Phil.
Well, thanks again, man. It's always a blast getting to chat with you guys. I mean, I've been kind of stuffed up and sick all day, but this was good. This was fun. Anyone wants to follow me and my shenanigans, I'm pretty much everywhere at Unfiltered except the Twitter and TikToks. I don't have either one of those. You can catch me on the Four Nerds pretty much every Wednesday, and my Batman podcast, The Eternal Night, which we did an episode early last week celebrating Batman's 85th. Wow, I don't know where I got 85th anniversary, and we also kind of broke down the Penguin trailer a little bit. So
nice.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, can't wait for that. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody who joined. Of course, Chris, who was here, Andy, Rebecca, Phil. Always great to talk to you guys.
And who else was here?
Who else was here?
Oh, Dave.
I know. I'm already like blanking because
the artist guy. What was his name? The guy who was I never met him before until tonight.
Dawson.
Drew?
Dawson, my co-host.
Dawson, yes.
One of my co-hosts on the Four Nerds.
Oh my God! See, this is what I'm talking about. Hey, 4 hours in. 4 hours in, guys.
Oh, okay, calm down. It's okay. It's
I know.
not 1937 anymore. We don't have to keep running around these days.
I love his TikToks that he does with his little sketchy, like
sticky notes
thing. They're freaking great.
Is he followed by you?
Yes.
I wish I knew what that was like.
Anyway. All right, guys. I'll follow you on TikTok, Andy. If you have a TikTok,
I have a TikTok.
Okay,
you have a TikTok.
You follow me?
I have a TikTok. Yeah.
I feel like the kid and We're the Millers now.
Listen, the kids are all doing this. I'm like, fuck it. I will just get on there and just try and make it work.
Try to make it work. Anyways, guys, we love you, and we'll talk to you later.